on, get the count in. Where is it?
1.
There it is.
2, 3,
4.
Take the time to make some sense of what you want to say, and cast your words away upon the waves, and sail them home with acquiesce on a ship of hope today. And as they land upon the shore, tell them not to fear no more. Say it loud and sing it proud today. And then dance if you wanna dance. Please, brother, take a chance. You know they're gonna go which way they wanna go. All we know is that we don't know how it's gonna be. Please, brother, let it be. Life, on the other hand, won't make us understand. We're all part of a master plan.
Well, welcome to the HomeBhoys live podcast here on Monday the 23rd of March. It is now 10 to 8. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna here in North County Dublin, hosting the show. And this is probably going to be our last podcast for about 2 weeks, is it?
No.
All right, probably. So we're going to try and make us a good
I said how?
How
do you want that out?
international break, no?
No
Oh,
games.
right, aye. Fair point.
Actually, keep up, lads. Don't we?
Well, come up with something.
Aye. It's never stopped us before.
We need the attention that badly.
We'll come up with a special.
Special, there you go. Right, so
You can find time, that is.
Jesus Christ! Already starting. Here, you've been gone for weeks. Living,
Just let the listeners know there's a story behind you finding time, and
Yeah.
we'll get to that in good time.
living the high road and lifestyle. You know what I mean, Harper?
I've been fucking ill.
Here, there's a reason you've been ill as well. Anyway, folks, let's not get we're arguing before we get anything done. First things first. Well, we're joined by the usual. We're joined by the Green and White Raider, Mr. David Harper, Paul Larkin.
Hello.
I don't even know who's who. I just forgot. I'm only in the door 20 minutes.
I'm the green and white editor.
You're the Green and White Editor. So we're joined by, of course, Mr. David Harper. Are you in the Rannoch Inn tonight, or are you?
I'm sitting at the bar in the Rannoch Inn. I'm reaching distance to my optics here, and I've got a new special ingredients for my gin.
Right.
Is it Slim Fast?
No. I've got Slimline tonic though.
Slim Fast, happy days.
Star anise.
Has anybody actually walked past and looked in and gone, what?
No, because the curtains are shut. Star anise.
So it is.
This will change your lives.
It's a speakeasy you're running busily.
And tell the listeners, Star Anise, you're a bit of an aficionado in the Star Anise front half, aren't you?
Yes, like my good friend in New York, Mr. Dave Singer, who's and also a gin connoisseur, told me, get this Chinese herb thing. I had to pretend I knew what it was. I was furiously Googling it. And I'll check and see if there's a Chinese market in Drogheda. I was saying to myself, what the fucking chance is that? But luckily, as Joe will be able to testify, his new workmate and a friend of mine, Chinese girl, Jens, sorted me out with a bag in Dublin. It's like wood. It's like a wee star, and it just tastes like blackjacks, and you put it in your gin, and it's fucking amazing, man.
So there you go, folks. Harper is out there buying Chinese contraband on the streets of Dublin. Who the fuck knows it's in that stuff? Anyway, so we'll move on to the one and only Jason Higgins.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Happy days.
We're all doing good. We're all doing good. Plenty to be good about. This is one of those good feeling weeks. It's just been great. It's been a really, really good feeling week. So, get down to business. Talk about the two Dundee United games. All we seem to fucking do is talk about Dundee United games lately. So, Dundee United last week, the Scottish Cup quarter-final replay, and 4-0, an absolute doing. Goals from Denier, Griffiths, Commons, Van Dijk, Stokes sent off, Ryan McGowan sent off, plenty of action. Decent crowd by the looks of it too. All good. I only seen the highlights though, like the rough highlights, because none of it was on TV. So I imagine yourself, Paul and Jason, you were at that game, yeah?
Yeah.
I say the same shit every week, knowing it's true, for fuck's sake.
There was only the top tier was shut for the game.
It was, I thought the crowd was pretty... It was a good atmosphere, but it was quite a poor crowd, really, when you think about it. After us just winning a League Cup, £15 to get in for adults, £5 for kids. And Dundee United had a fair travelling support, and I will qualify that and say they had a fair travelling support last midweek. And Saturday, they had about 30, if you're lucky. But I thought the crowd was quite poor, to be fair. But there was a good atmosphere because it was busy enough, because it was only the bottom tier. So maybe on the TV it looked all right, but nah, I was a bit disappointed.
There was no TV.
Oh, I knew it was.
I don't know how George knows it was a good crowd.
Because I've seen the highlights and it looked like a good crowd.
What about yourself, Paul? Do you think the crowd was quite poor, or do you think it was all right?
I mean, it was. I mean, I can't stand it when they only have the lower tier open air. I mean, it creates pandemonium outside. We got there 7:20, and the queue must have been at least half a mile long to get in. And obviously then you're dealing with loads of people who didn't know where they're going, don't know where their seats are and stuff like that. So it can kind of create a false... And it was, as you said, it was the best Dundee United support I've seen at Celtic Park in probably 25 years, to be honest. I'm qualified by best, I say, in terms of numbers, certainly not in terms of support, because some of it was a joke. But I mean, it certainly could have been more. It certainly could have been more, but I think we said on the show the week before that Celtic sort of set the precedent by that for already saying, we're shutting the top tiers, and so where's the kind of incentive to kind of fill it up,
I would agree with what you say, the pandemonium, because I went in with Johnny Mackay, and we were the Celtic end, so we were normally in the North Upper. And I found out Celtic have got a Domino's pizza place inside. It's about in the lower North, the lower Celtic end. So it's about, I think it's about 4 feet by 2 feet square. But nonetheless, there's a Domino's there, and there's some different kind of food outlets. There's a spice bar, and there's this kind of stuff. You don't get into that in the North Upper. So that was news to me. But we were late in, and we heard a big roar. Didn't know what it was. Get in, and we had a free kick at the edge of the box. That was it. Then a text came through and saying, should their keeper have been sent off? But the text came in the second half. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'd missed it, obviously. I'd seen the highlights about the keeper pulling Griffithston. So we missed that altogether. I thought Celtic played really well. Very professional job, and the class above them absolutely destroyed them. And they're just a fucking joke, man. Them and their management team is fucking pissing me right off. I know they're your pal with them, Paul, but that Jackie's just turning into a bitter man, and he's hacking me off a wee bit. But they got their just rewards, and they got absolutely humped, and they got humped on Saturday as well. So onwards and upwards, and Celtic they're hitting a bit of a groove now, and it's brilliant. It's good to watch. Some of the fit was breathtaking. I'm absolutely delighted with it. And as I say, Wednesday, obviously, without having your Armstrong and Mackay Stevens, but they were back on Saturday, and this team's gone places. I think it's a treat to watch.
How did Stoke's red card look?
Sorry, what was that, Joe? You broke up there.
How did Stoke's red card look from the stands?
I don't know. The other one looked worse, but it's one of the. I mean, he got a burst nose as well, So it's like, I don't know. I don't think these games are dirty now. You hardly get dirty games. Do you know what I mean? They don't really do much, and they have to get sent off. I don't know if their keeper by the letter of the law wasn't the last man for Griffiths, but in the tackle alone, he could have been sent off for fucking half them in two. So I think the referees are maybe taking too much into it. Who wasn't the last man, but in the same respect, he killed the guy. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like you just give him a yellow card because he wasn't the last man, not taking into account the challenge. So I think their keeper was lucky to stay in the park, but that would have, imagine sending their keeper off in the first minute. What the hell?
Tom Boyd didn't miss them in the commentary right through the game,
Is that right? What was he saying?
Just especially in the second half, near the end, talking about Dundee United. Obviously, I was just listening to commentary on Celtic TV because there was no television, but just saying that Dundee United completely lost the plot. Your man Rankin should have been booked umpteen times before he was booked. He should have been off the park. A couple of rugby tackles and James Forrest without bookings. Your man McGowan lost the plot. It was a definite red card. He says your man Sifter, what do you call him?
Chifke, right?
He said he was nothing but an embarrassment. Try to get Scott Brown done. He says he jumped up in the air and tried to make it look really bad to try and get Scott Brown sent off. He says it was terrible. He wasn't happy, And he obviously mentioned the fact that the Dundee United management team had been coming out saying certain things and that, and he wasn't too happy with that, So we all know Tom Boyd. He tells it how it is,
Right, and mate, if you're a Dundee United fan, you must be fucking raging with that Chifke because he's a player and he was fucking non-existent. He was a joke. And I just think they'd let everything get to them. And I
Jackie McNamara set them up for that because he's put this into their head that they've had done by.
Aye. Aye. And they've got, I know, and it's just that it's took a hell of a lot out of them because Celtic have kind of embarrassed them and gave them a right tanking, and probably they've definitely lost a bit of their self-control. They've lost a bit of their, I don't like using the word, but dignity, and they've just been made look like a laughing stock. And get it right up them.
Well, that's the thing, though. They came in thinking we've got what it takes to stand up against Celtic, and just game after game they've been proven wrong. Obviously, the first game was a draw, but I mean that was kind of an exceptional game given to some of the decisions. But see, every game since then, it's just been fucking turning the screw, and even on Saturday they made them look fucking extremely normal. You know what I mean?
I mean, Jackie coming out and saying that Deila is under a huge amount of pressure and everything to deliver the treble. I mean, just, come on, fuck Jackie. You know the score like that. That's utter nonsense.
But that's his job at the end of the day.
Well, to come out and say Deila's under
No,
pressure.
I suppose that's not his job, but his job is to kind of say something, I suppose.
It was a wee bit. They were all getting upset about Deila talking about other teams and other clubs, but then they're coming out and saying what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? These Deila had the I heard you saying in the podcast last week. These Deila came out and apologised for those things.
Yep.
They've not covered themselves in glory at all. And him and some of these players, like, no.
Maybe Jackie can't let it go that he was talking about Gary Matai Stephen. Maybe Jackie just holds a grudge. I don't know.
Well, he's obviously under a bit of pressure himself, and it'll be forgotten again. A couple of months' time, it'll be forgotten. But don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the wee sort of mini rivalry. If it's going to carry on the next season, fair enough. It adds a wee bit extra dimension to the games, I suppose. But as a contest, there's streaks behind Celtic, absolute streaks behind Celtic.
Yep. See, before we go any further, I forgot to mention. So, if they listen to the show, if you're listening live, obviously, don't know how to use it or listen to the podcast because it'll already be over. But around about 9 o'clock, we're going to draw. I've got all the tickets here. I met a good friend of the show after work the day in Glasgow and got all the raffle tickets for them. So it's the charity raffle for the John Guidetti, the leader of the gang. And I know he was Celtic fans have been kind of berating him for lack of passion and whatever, but I think they're all John Guidetti tonight. So we've got John Guidetti match worn shirt, worn on Sunday's 4-0 victory over Aberdeen, and the proceeds are going to the nominated charities: the Daniel Den Hood Stichting Fund. It's a Rotterdam cancer charity. The Invisibles do great work for the homeless in Glasgow, and obviously our favourite sons, the Kano Foundation. So the money raised will be split between these three charities. I have the bag. Give it a wee rattle there. I've got the bag with all the raffle tickets in it.
I try and get a rickety wheel type of thing going on.
I could be doing that, mate.
That's well done.
And I'll get one of my kids to draw it around about 9 o'clock. And I just said, that means I can't win it now.
Why?
Because if my tickets are drawn out, I can't exactly say, oh, shock horror, it's mine.
We'll need it.
Tickets back in there.
What we'll need is...
You do in that situation, man, you just make up a name and just keep it.
Right.
Don't be giving
right. That devious bit about my Harper, but there you go.
Well, I would never do such a thing.
Yeah. So, as I say, this was part of the great work of the Phenom fans that came over to Celtic Park a couple of weeks ago. So this is culminating in, I think, about £1,000 has been raised with this shirt alone. So absolutely fantastic effort for everybody involved. And,
if you're a reader of a Glasgow-based rag, you might read about this and maybe know in the paper tomorrow, because we know you're listening.
I
saw your favourite in the tweets. I know.
Are they? Right. Anyway, so when's that happening? The end of the night? Hello?
Right.
You still there? When's that happening? The end of the night, yeah?
9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock. Okay, right. So, we move on to Saturday?
Just that, Paul. We'll get to talking about the game.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. Fuck, Paul. Sorry, I forgot about that. I tell you, I'm all about this. This fucking working life isn't easy.
One day's working, you might fuck.
Celebrating. Paul, so obviously you're in the game. I mean, obviously you have a bit more insight in terms of like Dundee United than we would ever, have. Obviously we're just making shit up on the top of our heads in terms of like Jackie's comments and what have you. But I mean, in terms of like football on the park, I mean, you have to admit, like Dundee United are fucking miles away.
Oh, I mean, I think they'd openly admit that they would have had to have won one of the first two games against us to have any chance against us in the near future. You saw the first game was a wee bit convoluted because of what happened. The cup final, they weren't at the races, and obviously in the cup replay, I thought we were amazing. I mean, it was. I think give a fuck what happens in a cup final. A cup final, win or lose, takes a hell of a lot out of a team. And to produce a performance like that on Wednesday was second to none. I mean, it was really, really... And again, it goes back to the mental strength thing we keep talking about on this show. That Donny Deila's instilled in these players. With constantly setting the bar higher and making the standards higher and making them prepared to, keep playing these games and keep playing at the top level as often as possible. And I think, you can see that with the fitness levels, the team's unbelievable and just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it was, in the face of some, pretty harsh intimidation for the Dundee United players, the usual suspects, McGowan, we know what he's like for fucking Hertz. Paul Payton, just a hun-thug, always has been. And, Rankin, just another fucking joker that's made a career out of one goal against Celtic fucking 6, 7, 8 years ago. On the sort of management thing, I think one of the things that's been lost about this is that Dundee United fans at the minute are pretty raging with Stephen Thompson. They were going along fine in the middle of the season, and then bang, he just sells the two best players they've got to a team that they're kind of competing against for honours. At a time when he'd been openly saying the club was in the black, it didn't need to sell players, didn't need this, all that kind of thing. And so, subsequently, if anybody doesn't think that doesn't extend to the management, that they're happy to lose their best players. And I think what you've seen for them is a fucking frustration come out over the last 2-3 weeks about not really being able to gear us again, because they just haven't. Now, if you take it into the context of the time that they've been at the club, they've lost 5 top players: Johnny Russell, Andy Robertson, Ryan Gold, Stuart Armstrong, Gary Mackay-Steven for £11 million. To replace that, they were given a budget in the entire time of 330 grand. So the phrase "pissing against the wind" comes into it. Now, I think Jackie has let himself down quite a lot, and I've told him this as well, and Sid, and I had a bit of a sort of tete-a-tete with Sid about it last week, when he was kind of, because he was saying that Jackie had been misquoted and he hadn't said that pressure was on Deila. What he said was that with the team that they've got, they should win the treble, and misquoted, blah, blah. And I said, but it doesn't do any favours you're sending out the fucking meme machine every week, against Celtic, fucking putting in all sorts of challenges and blah, blah, blah. So, it is and it is. I think what you saw by the time we got to Wednesday was people like McGowan and Rankin and Shifty, they just couldn't handle it. And we talk about mental strength and all that. That's what we mean. Mental strength means no reacting. It means playing football. It means being brave. It means being able to stand up in these kind of things and raise yourself. And they just showed that they weren't able to do that, and they weren't capable of doing that. So, I think that's another feather in the cap of Celtic and Ronnie Deila, in that we can. And, it's kind of like when you saw the incident at the end with Stokes, that's how on earth McGowan, Payton stays on the park for that. It's unbelievable. And Stokes gets sent off. And then they have the audacity to appeal Ryan McGowan's fucking challenge, which another day could have been a fucking career-ending one. Mm-hmm. And you see it, to me, the difference is in the context and the conditioning that we get in Scotland. You look at the tackle Gerrard done yesterday, media went fucking berserk, and Gerrard come out and apologised. Boom, finished. That's it. Fucking McGowan's been trying to justify it ever since.
I want to, sorry, Paul, on you go, but I'll go
back. I've just got to say that, and he's been lighting the blue touch paper for 2 weeks in the press now, McGowan. Keeps it, it's a contact sport and this and that and all that kind of thing. And that's all fine, but at the end of the day, if that was a Celtic player, at the time we were seeing Celtic players fucking charged for answering a question, what's McGowan? What's happening with McGowan? And why does nobody mention that with Paul Payton, is actually being charged for beating up one of our players? And that doesn't ever come into the fact that, maybe he's that kind of player. But when Paul McGowan at Dundee gets arrested, the first thing you read in the paper is ex-Celtic player. So it's kind of like, the point I'm trying to make is that in the face of all this shite and all this adversity and the realisation for the rest of Scotland that we're on the verge of winning the treble, I think we're performing very, very admirably in the face of that.
And according to them, Celtic players are good at getting the referee to get off. That's something that just, I said, when I mentioned that to them, I said, is Payton looking for a fucking square goal or what? Because, to say that, and everybody here listening to the show, everybody who's on the show, will have seen what it's been like to be a Celtic fan and watch Celtic in Scotland. To fucking say that we get any treatment, biased treatment from referees is utterly fucking laughable. Like, it really fucking is.
Aye, well, we've had the one guy that's been done for racism with no evidence against him. A 7-match ban. No evidence apart from one Aberdeen player who was sent off the following week for whatever he was up to. So just on his word, we've had a guy banned for 7 games. We've also had Dirk Richter banned for simulation, and he's the only guy in Scotland this year. Yet that wee twat for Dundee United dies for that penalty. Do you know what I mean? Not a word said. And we've also had the kick up at Tannadice. Scott Brown gets kicked in the head, and nothing gets done about it. And yet, aye, so we're controlling the referees. I don't think so, pal. But aye, there you go. One thing I would like to say is that fucking Gerrard twat. See him. He's been getting away with that his full career. And what I would say is his apology. See, if you look at his apology, he apologises to that fucking Liverpool board, the Liverpool team, and the Liverpool fans. What about Ander Herrera, whose fucking leg he stood on? There was no apology to him.
Well, see, the thing about it is, and this is something that it drives me mental. This, right? I watched Sports Scene last night, and all they talk about on Sports Scene is that a penalty? Is this a penalty? Was this a foul? And it's like, there's not one mention of anything to do with tactics or formations or anything. They're treating us like fucking half-wits. And that's why the whole media is just fucking talking, oh my God, this sending off and that sending off, and let's have an inquiry, let's do this, let's do that, let's ban everybody forever. And nobody can turn around and say, do you know what? Celtic have took a punt on this fucking guy, fucking completely unknown for Norway, and the guy is literally turning around the football club. You know, creating a philosophy that's fucking incredible and reaching heights that we never imagined a million years we could get near in August. And not one person gives him credit.
No.
I mean, it's a fucking unbelievable the amount of journalists who, you know, some fucking daft Scotland under 21 player will score a goal for Huddersfield or something. Oh, fantastic to see, fantastic. Celtic win a cup, nothing. You know what I mean? Celtic trounced on United in a cup replay, nothing. And
because they're all big sick.
I know. You're right.
See another thing, Paul. Right, I'll put it to use 3 as well. The use other 2 as well. Like, we've got Ronnie Deila as our manager, right? See, at this present moment in time, see if we could swap Ronnie Deila for any other manager in the world. Would you do it?
No.
I wouldn't either. I love the guy.
I think we've landed something special. I don't just mean football ways. I mean, like, we've landed a real football personality and a real football man. I mean, like, even the talk of him being, was he at the Celtic Social Club at the weekend?
He was at a Green Brigade function, and absolutely amazing.
See, the more stuff he does like that, the more they're going to fucking hate him.
Because he just gets it.
Exactly. And that's what we love about him. And plus, he's making the stuff in the park look really attractive, really good. Everybody's excited and G'd up, going like, fuck me, this guy's a real deal. And that's what you want as a football supporter. You want to be going like, we're on the fucking right path. Let's go. You want to be on that kind of like, you know, that positive vibe. And he's totally bringing that, but he's doing it with such calm and grace. Big smile on his face. And doesn't get flustered by any of the bullshit that everybody else seems to like fucking either play up to or find, like, you know, intimidating. He just doesn't seem to have any of that, which is kind of good.
See what's brilliant, when you talk about other managers, Jason, right? And managers just, they come on, they get a mic stuck in front of them. They say this, that, fucking other. A lot of times it's just about themselves anyway. They come out with, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's just sound bites. Ronnie Deila came out, and even although when I wasn't happy with how the team were performing and stuff like that, I still said I was backing him because I liked what he was saying. And he's delivering what he said. And like that night when you and Paul, Jason, were at the Q&A thing in Celtic Park, he certainly came across that. He really understood what was required to get not in a false way, but to get the fans on board. He realised what the club means to the fans. He spoke about, I believe he spoke about to you, that he's going to make sure that players have more interaction with the support. And I think that was around about the time the Ronnie Roar started as well, the game at Aberdeen. Aye. And it's obviously a conscious thing that he's doing, but I don't at all. It doesn't come across as false, if you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
Aye, and so he's talking about what he's going to do, and he goes and does it, and that's the great thing about it. You're seeing the fruits of his labour. He's spoke about getting the players stronger and fitter. Anybody can see it how strong and fit they are. The will to win, the belief in their minds. It's just everything so far is Perfect.
Aye.
It's just, I can't. It's happy as I've been for a long time.
It's
being
a
a Celtic
perfect
fan.
storm. You're right. As things go, and I mean, we can all talk about issues off the park, whatever, things that we're not happy with. But at the end of the day, we are just four simple football supporters, and the main thing we want is a team in green and white to win football games. And by God, they're winning them now, and they're doing it in style. And see the way he's doing it. See the way he's putting a lot of importance on winning everything. Whereas maybe Neil Lennon, maybe Martin O'Neill, maybe they didn't put as much importance in the cups. They maybe put their importance into was winning the league and getting a run in Europe, the Champions League, which I'm not saying Ronnie Deila's not put importance in that, but we were kind of forced. We obviously get knocked out of Europe. But he would sacrifice the odd league game to make sure we were still in that cup. And that's what I love, because he gets it. And he gets what it means to Celtic supporters to stand at Hampden and see Celtic lift trophies. And he's obviously the taste of it now, and he wants more. And you just know he gets us. And I just think the guy is in heaven. I do. I don't know what I'm basing it on. And maybe just the one time I met him, he left a big impression. But I think as it goes on and on and on, I think guys like Chris Commons were mega pissed off with him at the start. And then they realised what he had, and then they knuckled down. You had guys like Lee Griffiths. I mean, what a player he's turned him into, and what a kind of consummate professional he's turned him into. And it's just guys that, like, they're near Beaton. He didn't get a chance. And I've heard a wee story. I don't know if you've heard anything about this, Paul, but seemingly near Beaton was near tears going into Deila. This might be totally made up, but I heard at the weekend, near Beaton was nearly in tears going into Deila, saying, what do I need to do to get a game? And he says, well, you need to work harder, and you'll get your chance. And he gave him his chance. And look at him now.
Yeah.
And it's just the type of... Everybody gets a chance at Celtic. I don't think he's got favourites. Do you know what I mean? People that are favourites are hard workers and guys that are fit as a fiddle. And I just think everybody at Celtic gets a chance with him. And I think that's amazing.
Aye, but just pulling it back to what Harper said, Paul, and then leading into you, right? I get what you're saying, Harper, about like the managers saying usual bullshit, because you tend to find that managers, there's a dance between managers and journalists and press conferences, especially in Scotland. I mean, Neil Lennon kind of played it. Martin O'Neill was very meticulous with it. Gordon Strachan kind of didn't really give a fuck about them, but he knew they had a job to do. But I mean, Ronnie Deila doesn't play that dance. He doesn't do that. Mm. He's just that regular guy. And Paul, obviously, you know more about managers than kind of I do. But I mean, you kind of... Is that real? Is that kind of like, can the manager do the press? This is the way it goes. And Deila just doesn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things Harper said about it does come across as false. I mean, if you watch Match of the Day 2, they always have that thing at the start where it has Mourinho celebrating a goal at Anfield and he's kind of punching his heart and all that kind of thing. Right. And you can tell he's doing that to wind the Liverpool fans up. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that, because that was a game, it didn't mean anything to Chelsea other than Liverpool winning the league, whatever, that's it. With Ronnie Deila, Ronnie Deila is a very, very intelligent guy. You know what I mean? And he has been someone, despite the fact that nobody really knew who he was when he came over, Man City trusted him. Because I think if you want to really, if I really had to put a gun at me, what's been the number one success story of the Ronnie Deila era? And for me, it's Jason Deila. I mean, that's a guy who come in, never played a first-team game for anybody, and if he doesn't get the Young Player of the Year award this year by the fucking length of the Gallagher, there's something wrong. Because he's absolutely brilliant. But everybody knows, we've all probably met guys, we've seen guys at that age who are great football players, but for whatever reason, they just can't do it. Jason Denia's come up here, 19-year-old, into Glasgow. I've never heard one thing in the paper about him. I've never seen him do anything wrong, badly, anything like that, and I've just seen him getting better and better and better. And that's what a real coach does. And I also had a journalist from one of the tabloids say to me, he was at the Ronnie Deila thing last week where the Celtic Foundation were promoting something. And he was like, honestly, and he's not a sales for this guy, he said, honestly, I could listen to your manager all day. He said, the guy knows more about football than everybody else in this country put together. And that's something that I think is the reason why guys like us are just sitting here going, we have fucking won a watch here,
exactly.
We've picked up a guy that could have went to, I don't know, Benfica or Roma or whatever, and could have been the next star in European football. And we've picked up that guy, and does he seem like a sort of foreign manager who stays for one season, any of that kind of thing? He's talking about longevity next season, etc. And as you say, I mean, they used to always say the old phrase, beware the Ides of March. fucking, that used to be the same with Celtic. The number of times things would go for theirs, we're just getting stronger and stronger and better, and we go in. That this was a week when everybody during the week, you know what, Aberdeen are playing first and they could pull the level, this, that, next thing, and it ends up we win convincingly and Aberdeen drop points. Because despite what the media will tell you, it's not easy to win leagues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Aberdeen have fucking found that out to their cost. But Ronnie Deila's making it easy because, the football we're playing now and the players we've got now are simply tremendous.
Yeah, exactly.
I think plaudits as well to John Collins and John Kennedy, because he obviously has a great relationship with him as well. Collins and Kennedy have probably helped him get into the mindset of what it means to be at Celtic and that. Like, I'm sure that's helped. And of course, Johnny Collins, we all know about his time at Hibs with the six-pack and all that. He's obviously on board with that Deila philosophy, the fitness and the health and the eating and programme and all that. So it's Jason summed up perfectly. It's the perfect storm.
Aye, it's just, and it's. I know you're getting ahead of yourself, and football fans are as fickle as get out. Do you know what I mean? And that's a fact of life. Say for whatever strange thing that we don't win the league, people will want them out the door. But it's like, I just think we're definitely on the verge of something special here. And it's like, see, I'm not kidding. See like that Europa League. I think we could win that. See with him as our manager, I reckon he'd need a bit of luck, obviously. But I think we've got a team that could actually go and challenge. We can challenge the teams that are just below the best in each country in Europe. Right. But we're not good enough to play in the Champions League. We're good enough to play in it, but we're not good enough to go far in the Champions League. I just don't think a team. It's possible for a team in Scotland to play against the might, the wealth that these teams have got. I think we could maybe in a one-off game do all right against them, but in the league format and things like that, I just think it's far too much for us. But I think in that Europa League, I mean, obviously, I like Everton, and I watched them against that Dynamo Kiev. I'd fancy Celtic against any of the two of them. That Inter Milan, I would have fancied Celtic 11 men in the park to knock them out in the San Siro. I just think with this team next season, if they keep it together and get a wee bit of luck that we keep Van Dijk, I don't think they will, but if something can happen, if we can get a good replacement in for him, and if we can get Deila on another year's loan, I just think this team's on the verge of something special, and I just think they're young, they love playing football, they're enjoying themselves, it's just great, and there's a good buzz being at the stadium now, and everybody's kind of, I know we're moaning about the odd folk booing and stuff like that, but there is people standing up and smiling and that when they score goals, and everybody's saying, what a move, and it's like, it's getting the fans off the seats, and I just think it's great.
It's entertainment, man.
Aye, absolutely.
Entertainment, it's pure entertainment.
Aye.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously, it's reciprocated for the players, and I think Ronnie Deila has built that into them, and guys like the Green Brigade, the amount of work that they put in supporting Celtic and the amount of effort they put in supporting Celtic for the full 90 minutes or 95 minutes, whatever it is, he's appreciating that as well, and he's got a bond with these kind of guys because he knows, because they never boo a player, we've been on about Effie Ambrose being a boy James Forrest. They've now started the song Effie Ambrose Ballon d'Or, and it's amazing, and Effie Ambrose has now got a song because I think they've identified that he was getting a bit of a hard time for certain sections of Celtic support, so they've made up a song for him. And obviously with Ronnie Deila's come out and said about Effie Ambrose, he said, I've asked him to play left back, I've asked him to play right back, I've asked him to play centre half, I've asked him to play midfield. He plays anywhere because he does anything for Celtic, and he loves being at Celtic. And Effie Ambrose isn't the best player in the world. Well, maybe he is the best player in the world, but he loves playing for Celtic, and he gives his all in that park, and he deserves our support, and I've well done at the Green Brigade for making up the song for him and keeping it going. So he'll turn him into a bit of a cult hero now as well.
And there's
Can I ask you, see the Green Brigade function at the weekend? How did that come about that Deila was there? Was he invited, or did he just go? I kind of got the impression he just went off his own back, or am I completely wrong there? But how did that come about?
I actually don't know, but I know he did go off his own back. Absolutely, he didn't. He wasn't sent there with a club or anything like that. He wanted to go. And by all accounts, a couple of folk that were there, it was an absolutely amazing night.
He's trying to find. He's trying out every pub in Glasgow so he can find his best spot for going for it. Just happened to waltz in there and they go, fuck.
I love that tattoo, Paul, that you sent us. Is that a real tattoo?
Aye.
Tell Ronnie I was never happy. Ronnie I was. Somebody has to create a whole song like that. Has to be done.
See, you mentioned there, Jason, about like the likes of trying to keep Van Dijk and whatever, and hang on to Denayer for another year alone. You get this funny feeling, this good feeling that Deila might be that kind of guy who guys might look at and go, I'm playing great football here under this guy, and we're heading into next year with the Champions League is a definite possibility. You mean?
Well, it's the thing that Paul's touched on it a few times. We didn't really know, but he's trusted by Man City. Sorry, Deila's. So why does he not tell Man City? He's fucking 12 million for Van Dijk, and let him play there with Denayer for a couple of years, and you've got a ready-made central partnership. There's worse ideas out there, isn't there? So I don't know if English games where they head up their arse and they don't rate anybody in Scotland and things like that. But if we could, at the end of the day, Jason Denayer, to me, he's too good to sign for us, and I hate saying that, and I feel dirty saying that, but I just think he's too good for Scottish football to sign for us. And I really don't think Man City would let him go if they've got half a brain, because the boy's quality. But if we can get him for another year's loan, that'd be amazing.
And see when you say he did nothing wrong, Paul, he did splash water into the face of one of the Kano kids from Dublin that time when they came out to meet the kids. So
I'm sure the compliance officer will be in touch with him then.
Him and Guedetti should be pulled up.
Aye.
While we're on it, should we touch the John Guidetti fiasco today?
Well, will we leave that till after we get the 3-0 game, or we can go to ball?
Aye, sorry, on you go.
The 3-0 game, so 3-0 at the weekend. The first time Mackay, Stephen and Armstrong had the chance to face Dundee United, having watched them get beat, their old friends get beat. And Mackay Stephen, wow, he definitely he made his mark on 16 minutes. But I mean, the crowd looked fantastic. The weather was great by the looks of it. I don't know how cold it was, but the sun was out. It looked fantastic. You can always tell how sunny it is by how shit the camera work is. One half of the pitch is dark, and the other half is fucking blinding light. But it was a fantastic display, and Dundee United just didn't get a sniff. I mean, they had a couple of maybe half chances, came forward a bit, but generally they were just pegged back for most of the game, and we just kind of played around them. I mean, Paul, you were there, or were you here?
No, I was there, no.
He was in bloody Limerick, you knew that?
Oh, that's right, he was over with the rubber bandits at Limerick.
Rubber bandits.
So, I mean, Jason, you were there, obviously.
Aye. So I had a great wee day. I took my daughter and her pal. We get the training. My good lady, she was working all weekend, and so my son, he was going to a party, so we dropped him off, and then we get the training at midday, and I took
my son. Fuck's sake.
I took my daughter up to see the delights of the Gala Gate for the first time. And went in, got a few pints, met a few of my mates in the Gala Gate, and met a guy that you know yourself, Pat. After a guy, Peter Hughes for Dundalk.
I met Peter.
Lovely fella.
Lovely guy.
Yep, so he was over.
You know he lives in Dundalk, so.
Aye, but lovely guy. So we were in a booze on the Gala Gate, and so met him. So it was great when we left there, maybe, I don't know, 2:15 to walk up to the game. Quite a few years, and just I was walking by the Hoops bar, Lisa, Chris Commons' wife, and was it Adam Matthews' wife as well?
Fell out of the Hoops bar, steaming.
They came out blotto at the Hoops bar. They'd been in doing a charity gig in there, and they'd been serving behind the bar, and they came out with bouquets of flowers and that. And a couple of wee guys thought it was funny to nick the flowers and run out the street with them. They took the flowers back there and gave them it, and it was all good fun. But so they looked as if they had a great day in there. So we headed up the Gala Gate, and my daughter was asking all these questions. Where's this? Where's that? And then a guy just calmly rides by us in a unicycle. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? So we gets into the game, and the first half display was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, and obviously the Dundee United support. 2,000 of them hadn't made their way back to Celtic Park, obviously, after the drubbing they got midweek. So they had about 30 supporters there, if you're lucky. But Celtic were phenomenal. And the first goal for Gary Mackay-Stevens was an absolute peach. Nice to see him kind of not celebrating very much. Obviously, it was his old club and where he made his name. So I always kind of think that's a good thing when a player shows a bit of respect for an old club. But then Guidetti scores an absolute peach. And at the game, I sat in the North Upper. I thought it was quite a bad deflection because you text me and you says, what a goal. And it looked like a real bad deflection for where I was sitting. But when I seen it in the game, in the replay, it was a slight snick that it got. It was an absolute peach. Aye, and then Denier with a bit of classy back heel to make it 3-0. So after that, we kind of took our foot off the gas, I think. And it was just, I don't know, it was a doddle. And I think we could have scored more if we wanted. But I think Celtic just,
game over at 1-0. As soon as the first goal went in, it was, their heads went down, it was game over. And it could have been 6 or 7 at half time.
Even before then, Harper, I don't think they'd have shot a goal. I don't even think they were in our box or anything. It was an absolute rout. So great to see, and it was absolutely brilliant. So I had a brilliant day. We headed back into town for a wee bite to eat after the game, then get the train home. But I had an absolutely fantastic day with the girls, and
Right.
Well, may continue. Happy days, and obviously it was wee Brucey as well. Aberdeen dropped them a couple of points to the other side, Tayside, Dundee. So that was a wee favour they've done us. Dundee's done us a few favours over the years. So that was very good as well.
And Jason, see, just to mention that, how you kind of see how we spoke about long and weary on this show about summer football, and the way you're talking about a couple of pints, and we just walked up to the Gallagate to the game, the sun was shining.
Before it, it's just amazing, you know, and yourself, this is what it's all about.
Aye.
You know, how good is that? Because if you're walking out a pub in the Gallagate and the rain's coming in horizontal, and you're just like, I don't even want to go to the game.
But especially the fact you've got Wayne's there as well. Like, no, it's a whole different experience for them. Like, no, and that's you're trying to encourage that.
Different class.
I mean, Paul, I assume you watched it on the online, did you?
Yeah, I saw it. I did see the game.
You and Batman took a bit of time off from protecting Limerick.
Aye. It was a long story how we saw it, but the guy told me not to tell me where it was because it wasn't strictly legal. But no, it was good. I mean, I was probably mere because I had a couple of people updating me on the Dundee Aberdeen game, and in one of the kind of fucking horrible twists of fate, they told me it was one out at Aberdeen. And they never said a word. And I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, it's probably they've still won. Probably that's it. And then 8 texts came in, and it was like the equaliser and all that, and there'd obviously been some sort of lapse with the text messages, so I was like, holy shit. And I actually started to get a bit nervous, because I'm thinking, you know, if we can win this today, you know, we're as good as home dry. I mean, the next game we play something away on a Friday night and can increase the points, and 2 or 3 games after that, you could be league champions. And so I was so impressed by just how the verve that Celtic played with. You knew, we said 2 weeks ago, that the first 2 starters in that game would be Armstrong and Mackay-Steven, because obviously they'd be fresh. And boy, did they show it. And just the confidence surge in doing, and it was, as Jason said, it was obvious Dundee United support was fucking almost non-existent there. And he's right, like, I mean, it's, you know, you see everybody with short sleeves on and fucking, you know, the sun's shining, and that is the way it should be. Like, I defy anybody to say this fucking nonsense that we love fucking winter football, traditional and all that kind of thing. You know, we used to love the traditional fixtures because it was a New Year's Day game against your local rivals, you know. Now they're gone. It's like, well, fuck it, who gives a fuck, you know? And I was just over the moon with it, Joe. I really was. I mean, I think, and I said it after, I felt so. I've said it on the show a long time, I say it again, fucking, I've never been as happier as a team in a long time, you know, because it's a young, fit, hungry team, and you feel like they can just only get better and better. And guys, I mean, you know, we've talked about the other sisters, you said Griffiths, you know, the guys, it's night and day to what that guy was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, had this reputation and all that kind of thing, and he conducts himself so well now. And I'll have to say, I have to pay tribute to the two guys who are often, over the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of months, who are often whipping boys with the fans, are Effie Ambrose and Anthony Stokes, both of whom have got their heat down and started playing good football for Celtic.
Right.
And I had an argument with a boy at the St Johnstone game, And I was talking about this on Saturday night to a boy in Limerick who was saying the same. And I said, we've mentioned this on the show 1,000 times. He's like, I used to fucking hate these cunts that are always on people's back and all that. I said, it's a guy non-stop at the St Johnstone game, fucking screaming, ranting and raving. And I said to him, I said, what do you call the guys out there? He said, what do you mean? I said, collectively, what they all call? He said, players. I said, aye. I said, what we called? He's like, supporters. I said, aye. You want to be good players, so you be a fucking good supporter. Because sometimes we forget this. There's guys that go to these games and think they're the fucking manager.
Aye.
You know, and do this, do that. And they actually think that, Stokes is shite, Ambrose is shite, this is shite. And to me, I just think, listen, pal, you've got no fucking understanding of what it's like to be a professional football player or to even get anywhere near that fucking level. You know what I mean? One thing you can't be is shite. You know what I mean? You've got to fucking clear so many obstacles. And I just think if we all collectively were doing that and the more people gone there, I mean, this team could fucking achieve anything with this manager and these players because, and even when, a couple of people say, well, we might lose Deila, we might lose Van Dijk, I'm totally confident in Ronnie Deila going out and signing quality replacements. You know what I mean? Because he's clearly got an eye for a player. And, we've ironed things out a few times with people like Wakaso and Tony Evan at the start of the season, but we've kind of moved away from that. And, I was over the moon because even the low averages and all this pish that comes out about, you've got to lose one of the games. No, you didn't. And Celtic showed that again on Saturday,
Seeing myself at the minute, I wasn't on the show last week, and the cup final, I agree with Terry. I thought Stokes was man of the match. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal at times. And I find myself rooting hard for, I've always been a fan of Stokes anyway, but I find myself rooting hard for Ambrose when he's on the partner, because it really, really gets to me how people can be so anti a player. It's like they want the field to justify their own sort of rants and ravings, And
right.
James Forrest, I'm not his biggest fan for the fact that I just find him so frustrating. Do you know what I mean? But I would never down cry the boy at a game or that. I get so, because I know he's got so much talent and he doesn't show off enough. He's always injured. I find him frustrating. So I'm not a biggest fan to that point of view, He's a phenomenal player, and I believe, Tom Boyd reckons he had one of his best games in a Celtic jersey in a long, long time in the midweek game last week. Obviously, I never seen it because it wasn't on television, but listening to that, I was absolutely delighted because I was like, there's another boot in the balls for some of the moaners, And I know we moan as well, but I think it's different for sitting with your mates and how we do, and this talking about, he had a bad game, and I don't really fancy him and the team and stuff like that, to being at the game and screaming abuse. I think that they're totally separate. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Harbour, we've all. Oh, it's a noise. Earthquake.
The snozzle.
Sorry, white noise. Are you there?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what that is. Anyway, I was going to say something there. It's completely. My train of thought totally.
Do you want to call us again, Joe? Is it all right for yours?
I'm actually.
It sounds before
I'll try to call you this again, right?
No, sorry. No,
it's fine.
Okay, all right. It's just, it must be something to do with me then, because it was just mental there.
I was going to say something. My train of thought's completely.
You were going to say something about Forrest now,
No, I was going to say, we've kind of all been guilty, I suppose, of giving players a hard time. It's on this show anyway. I know Ambrose got a kicking.
But John, we've all done that.
I know.
That's just being a football fan.
I know.
Screaming abuse.
I know, but let me finish. What I'm saying is, that
no.
I think that I think it's the goodwill as well of Deila as well. It makes you. He wants them to be better, and he's going to make them better, and he has made them better. And see that whole sort of movement, that positive movement, and his persona, and the way things are going with the club, and the way things were the fans are going, and the way the players look connected. It's a big team. It's a team spirit. It's kind of gelled into a bit of a family, and you can tell that he's relishing it, right? And I think that's spilling over to us as well, because we can see it. You can notice that when you see these guys play football, that they're all up for it and they're all playing for him. So I think that's kind of rubbing off on us, that we want them to be as good as he wants them to be, as opposed to going, Jesus, not him again. It's fantastic.
That's every week. People have to realise players are going to have fucking bad games. And if the team is playing so well, it doesn't matter if one or two of them are off form. What happens? Do you know what I mean?
The lasting thing I can remember what Deila said to me and Paul when we were there, he says, we've got a young team, and he says, young teams make mistakes, but he says, I don't want the fans to moan at these players. He says, I want the players to be brave and be willing to make the mistakes, but take the chances. But he says, I want the fans to get behind them and don't boo them, to sing their names and make them confident He taking more chances, and then he says, together we get better as a support, we get better as a team. And that's kind of, it's getting there, you know, and obviously, I think the Green Brigade are doing brilliant. You know, we slate them sometimes if they make an arse of things now, but see at the present moment in time, I think the guys are absolutely fantastic, and they're getting behind the team like never before. And just especially with the Effie Ambrose stuff, you know, they can sense maybe he's getting a bit hard done by the rest of the support, and they're getting behind him. And hats off to them, you know, it's brilliant. And they've been singing Ronnie Deila's name for long and weary. And it's everybody in the ground singing it now, and just Celtic fans en masse are just, it's a movement again, and it's brilliant.
Do you know what I loved reading? I loved reading that Ronnie Deila after the cup final, in front of the other players, held up Stokes and said, "See, this is what you are when you're 100%. This is how you play." And I think Stokes, and he said to Stokes himself, he said, "You were fantastic today." And I think Stokes himself was a bit taken back, saying, like, what are you saying here? But I love hearing that he said to the other players, this guy's doing it. This guy's giving me 100%, and that's what I want. And see that there, that's got to motivate guys way better than just screaming at them and telling them, you need to be this, you need to be that. Just to have somebody to hold up and say, this guy's doing it. You know, that's fucking, you just love to hear that, because obviously this guy's phenomenal with people. I mean, he's proved that with the fans. He's proved that with the players. He's proved that with the media. You know what I mean? He's obviously just their own.
Talking about Tony Stokes, I've got a tweet here, Jason Paul, if I forget. Thomas Hans says, Jason,
aye,
remember to buy your raffle tickets for Tony's boot on Friday.
And for him, I'm going to Friday night. Paul's got an asterisk here in a Celtic Social Club, sold out. It's a Facebook group I'm a member of, and we've got the asterisk here at the London Road Social Club. Some of the raffle prizes are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, I'll dig it out and I'll give a wee shout if anybody's want to buy them. I'll read out the prizes and give the address for anybody to send any. If anybody wants to buy the raffle tickets, I mean, the prizes are phenomenal. But one of the prizes, it was one of our top prizes for the medical aid for Palestine, and the guy who won it gave us it back and says, "Look, I didn't want any prize, I just wanted to give some money." So we're like, "Oh, fine." So Tony Stokes' boot's been in my cupboard for about 6 months, and Linda's been, "When the bloody hell you get rid of this?" So HomeBhoys, we had a wee collective discussion, and we decided that we would donate it to the Den Social Club asterisk years. So that's one of the prizes. So I keep winding the guys up. My wife can't wait, because obviously I'm buying raffle tickets to see if I win that boot. She walking back in that house. Oh man, I reckon she'd put me in the
Here, tell me this: have you put it on a couple of times in nobody's home and stood in front of the mirror going, "Yeah"?
Nah, it's in a case, Joe. It's a presidential case thing. But it's a great prize for somebody. And all I mean, Stokes is a bit of a cult hero to many Celtic fans, and we've always backed his corner here. You know, value for money is second to none. 400 grand. Aye.
And mind if you're selling raffle tickets, you didn't misplace the money for 3 or 4 months.
Well,
last year.
That's right. I forgot about that.
No, bloody hell. Friend that's new to the show or whatever. Joe had brung over from the
St Lawrence's CSE.
St Lawrence's CSE in Drogheda. They had done, Harper had sold the calendars with beautiful models for Ireland. And all the money half the money went to a charity in Drogheda. What was the charity, Harper?
It was local Alzheimer's.
The local Alzheimer's charity. Another half went to the Kano Foundation. So Joe comes over, Joe and his lovely wife. We're out all day at the game, and then back to the Kano dads. And Joe has gave me €1,000 from Harper. And I've said to Linda, "There you go, stick that in that bag or whatever up there." So we've been out on the drink all day. I went to 3 months later, I'm serious. Linda says, "When was the last time you were in that bag?" She says, "I've just went in there and found an envelope with €1,000 in it."
Right, can I just add on to that, though? Can I add on to that story a bit? Right?
You can, mate, on you go.
I walked into Wetherspoons to meet you across the road from the Radisson, right? And I pulled the envelope out, and you turned to me and just gave me a mouthful going, what the fuck are you doing bringing that money out? You get lost, I'll never fucking get it, never see it again. And then fucking 3 months later, it turns up, I go, oh, is that right? Aye.
Oh my God. And I text it straight away. I text all the guys to the Kano, listen, I've got €1,000 here. Oh my God.
They probably had a couple of meetings going, so we're going to need to talk about Higgins.
How are we going to broach this with him? I don't think
we'll send round a punishment beating.
Aye, so there you go. Aye, very interesting, very good joke. But aye, so just whatever you bring this time, don't give it to me. If you bear any gifts this weekend, just keep them away from me, mate. And aye, but it was all good. It all got there in the end.
Right, so we'll move on to Guidetti. Right, first thing, the Guidetti not celebrating. I don't know what that's about. Nor do I really care.
I think it was a wee thing. They were kind of taking the piss out Dundee United, because at the end of the day, every player in the team went to him. You know, and Ronnie Deila got interviewed and he says, what about John Guidetti? He says, oh, I don't know. He says, he's got many things in his head. I don't know what he was doing.
But I did see a picture of him kind of standing like a bit of a pose, looking at one of the other players.
I think it was a pre-practice thing. You know, it was he was meaning to do it. I don't know. What do you think, Paul?
Okay, I mean, I don't think there was anything sinister in it, or I think Ronnie Deila said something along as maybe he should go on YouTube and learn a few dance moves or whatever. But you know, I mean, it's you know, if it's getting to the stage where the media are fucking pulling up fucking how we're celebrating goals, then you just know what kind of fucking, you know, we're on the right road, you know.
I know it is.
See, watching the game, I didn't even notice it. I didn't even register.
No,
I watched it, so I didn't even.
I didn't either. I was at the game. You're just up off the chair. Yes, get in.
So stupid, man. It's fucking so stupid.
And then we have today, right? Which I only found out about before we started the show, is that he's being charged with singing an offensive song relating to Rangers, right? And this is obviously down to the video clip of him on, what does it say?
Singing his own song.
Yeah.
Dutch TV show, FC fucking Ringmond. Who knows? We should get your mom home fans on. He'll tell us what it's called. So, and it's basically him being, obviously he'd been asked, apparently the Celtic fans have a song for you. And obviously he said, yeah. And he thought of the words and he sang it. And it was really funny because I don't think he had any idea what it was. He just kind of knew the words. Maybe he did know. I don't know. But then again, he was on Dutch TV, so I'm sure he didn't think anybody would find out, even if he did know, right? But to fucking charge the guy was singing an offensive song.
Yeah, well, the charge is, or whatever it says, he's been issued with complaint. It says the compliance officer has issued the following notice of complaint. Alleged party in breach, John Guidetti. Disciplinary rule, alleged breach. Disciplinary rule 73. In that, on or around 6th of March 2015, you did, in the course of an interview given to the Dutch television programme FC Ringmond, make comments of an offensive nature. Principal hearing date Thursday the 9th of April. Mr Guidetti has until 3 p.m. on Monday 30th of March to respond to the complaint. So Celtic have backed him, which I hope they do. And I would get the lawyers onto this because it's a fucking joke.
It's just fucking
Just reply and a wee envelope, just write down, well, they are deed.
See if the listeners actually don't know what he was singing. Should we sing it for them?
You sing it.
Oh,
you're a new singer.
It's only one.
You're the singer. You're a better voice than me. You remind me of a young Perry Como.
Well, here, I've brought a song this week.
Right, I'll click my fingers because none of you boys have any fucking rhythm.
Well, Joe's a singer. Come on, sing the Guidetti song.
The Guidetti song. It's only one John Guidetti. Puts the ball in the net. He's a super sweet and Hunter Dade. Walking in Guidetti Wonderland. That's it.
I'm going to issue you with a complaint.
Lock me up and throw away the key, sir.
I mean, the thing about it for me is that this is just, and we talk about the fucking, you know, often in these kind of talk about the nanny state. To me, this fucking just taps into this whole fucking sweetie wife culture that's engulfed Scotland. With these fucking sweetie wives over the other side of the fucking city, going round Scotland singing "No one likes us, we don't care," and then somebody has a wee dig at them, and suddenly they're all going fucking mental and grats them up. Oh, this, that, and next thing. I mean, you say you'd mentioned James Keatings and all this kind of. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I really couldn't care. I tell you something right now. If fucking Stuart McCall came out and shouted, fuck Celtic, fuck this, fuck... I wouldn't give a fuck.
I know.
I couldn't care less.
No.
That's what I expect from them. You know what I mean?
See,
And if anybody doesn't believe these people are actually thinking these things anyway, then they're fucking mad.
That's the thing. See, when they come out and say these things and sing these songs, you're kind of going like, all right, tell us something we don't fucking know.
see, they had a banner a couple of weeks ago, and it seemed like it had some loyalist connotations on the banner. So I looked onto Twitter, and the amount of folk tweeting it to Police Scotland and that Celtic supporter just made sure I unfollowed every one of them. You know, because we've got that shower in our support as well. Just these sweetie wives that take camera pictures and want to get people into trouble, and they've just got the saddest life ever, and they're offended by absolutely everything that happens to them. And you just say to yourself, fucking, what's your life all about, pal?
Well, that's the thing. Those are the people that, Nick, I mean, you heard it said many times, they need to get a fucking life. I mean, like, go out and take up a hobby, do something, fill up your time. It doesn't involve fucking with other people because it's not worth it. It's pointless.
They just live their life to be offended.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're fucking everywhere, man. They're everywhere, especially online. Fucking unbelievable.
I just would run about anyone that I've seen tweeting it or whatever. I just kind of unfollowed them because I've got no place in my life or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I go on Twitter and Facebook for a laugh. You know, I go on to just have a laugh with like-minded Celtic fans, Everton fans, folk for the Basque Country. I just want to have a laugh and enjoy having a bit of banter about football. And I just cannot be annoyed with it. It just does my fucking box in.
Well,
You know, we've got a rival in the city. The old team died. They've got a new team. They wear blue. They play at Ibrox. They don't like us. We don't like them. They do stuff to piss us off. We do stuff to piss them off. Deal with it and go on with it.
All right, but the question needs to be asked, are you following Celtic or are you trying to score points against the Huns?
Aye, it's just
Because one's one thing and one's another. I mean...
and that's people are just, their full life is it's overtook by. I mean, the thing is, these are the guys that say they never want to play them again, and they never want to. That one game they played against them, that's enough, and they never want to see them bile again.
Forget them then.
Then they go on to talk about them 600 times every day. So,
That's the thing,
You see these folk who fucking troll people's tweet timelines for 2-3 years ago to find something they said once. You know, and it's like, because I'm going to fucking point out what an idiot they are. No, listen, if you're sitting in your fucking house trolling a complete stranger's Twitter timeline, you're the fucking idiot. Didn't look any further. It's you know.
It is. When you break it down to, like, you know, what normal people do, it is a weird fucking thing to do. Like, you know what I mean?
We're normal as fuck.
Nah, but at least we're sociable. You know what I mean? At least we're all genuine. Like, we'll say on the show what we'll say to your face.
I mean, see, right, you're walking to Ibrox, right? You're walking into the stadium, and they're all there. Right, no, but if you get into Broomland Road, if we're playing Sevco or we're playing the Old Rangers, you're walking into...
Maybe see Joe with a pie with brown sauce
for
and
fuck's sake, here we go.
He loves
Bring my dad once.
So you're walking in there, and you hear there's a Rangers fan across the road. Yeah, fucking bastard. But you're going to, I need to find the nearest policeman. I'm fucking deeply offended by that.
What happened to the time-honoured tradition of going over and giving them a good fucking kicking?
I mean, what
HomeBhoys does not endorse anything.
what have we turned into? Do you know what I mean? What have we turned into?
Bunch of fannies is what it sounds like.
Aye, it is. Yes, you know.
Fucking more suited to the bingo than fucking a football match.
Eyes down.
Two flat ladies.
It's playground antics. Like, it's just embarrassing.
I don't think you would get a lot of that stuff in the playground after. You know, it'd be hard the Jacobs time in the playground.
So, do you want to hear my song?
Is it as good as the last one?
Aye. It's about as long as well.
Okay, who are you ripping off this time?
I'm like yourself, Joe, right? I managed to write songs for a bit more.
It's not the writing, it's the hard part, man.
Right, here we go. Have you seen him? Have you heard the way he plays? There are no words. He's the Tom, he's Lee Griffiths. He gets in space, he takes a pass. He scores the first, he scores the last. He's a thumb, he's Lee Griffiths. And that's as far as I'm going.
That's brilliant.
That is very good, right? But there's no fucking possible way everybody can sing that song together.
Oh.
For one, you need to know. You need to know.
I love it.
That's a cracker. You need to know She Bangs the Drums by the Stone
It's
Roses.
stupid.
That's a cracker. Jesse, I'll bring in.
You get the right and left wellies on.
The cider's in full flow.
You know who used to be the mayor of Balbriggan, eh?
Frank Carson.
Aye.
Frank Carson came back here and made a speech, right? This is a sidetrack as usual.
Chosen as his part ever since.
Is he not a Tory twat?
I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't living here when he was mayor. I don't run the place. But he came back and made a speech. He made a speech, and the former mayor coming back for some reason. This is before he died, obviously, because that would be weird if he was dead. But he made a speech, right? And I swear to God, it was one of the funniest speeches I've ever heard in my life, because his jokes are so fucking corny, but they're so bad they come all the way back around to be brilliant, right? Because he got when he made this speech, and he says, you know the guy that invented crosswords is buried in Balbriggan? There was silence, and he goes, it's not easy to find him. He's 5 up and 2 across. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Hey, that's a cracker.
Oh, I tell you.
I like that.
Brilliant, man, isn't it? It's so fucking cheesy. The poltergeist is back. Fuck me. So what are you on to now? It's 5 to 9. Anything else I want to bring up? Should we talk about the Keno dance coming up, or?
Oh, we'll do that after, because we'll need more than 5 minutes to talk about that, and the draw's at 9, so.
All right, so 5 minutes. So we'll sit here and silence for 5 minutes.
Jason, 5 minutes. Give us the wee rundown of the raffle Friday night prizes and that you're talking.
Right, well, let's get them up. Give a second. Right, talk amongst yourself, boys, to produce these. Can Thomas Hand send me something?
We've got Fat Club today as well. We're filming Fat Club now.
I will need more than 5 minutes. I've got issues with last week's.
Issues? Here, listen.
No, we'll
I'm not great with numbers. It's well known.
Because you're working with this. We'll tell everybody you're working now.
That's somewhat good or bad. Thanks for fucking
is it?
burying the lead there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through here to try and find these raffle prizes. Some raffles, so it is. Right.
Stokesy's boot. But it's sitting next to your bed. You say it's in the cupboard. It's not. It's sitting on your fucking side of your bed.
No, I've gave it a... Kevin came and got it last week. So it's left the premises.
Oh, it's gone.
Gone but not forgotten.
This is great fucking listening.
This is fantastic. Well, if we were more...
I should have wrote another fucking verse.
You should have remembered. Sing it
I
again.
think every week somebody has to come on and sing a Stone Roses song.
Somebody's listening. Thomas, post the... I'm on the group at the minute. Post the bloody raffle prizes.
Right, we'll come back to it. It's nearly 9 o'clock, Jason. Have you got to go and find children or not?
Rory's up the stairs. I'll just shout him.
Hey, Harper, what was the lyrics of that song? Because some of them, he's what? And then he's Lee Griffiths, he's the thumb.
He's the thumb.
He's the thumb.
What's that mean?
That's
his nickname.
Is it? I didn't know that.
The thumb.
For fuck's sake. Should I just pretend that you did?
Why is he called the thumb?
Huh?
Why is he called the thumb?
I don't know, 'cause he looks like one.
He looks like a thumb. That hair transplant is struggling, man.
Jeez, better keep the receipt.
Absolutely.
I've looked through all the photos and I cannot find the raffle prizes. So if somebody would...
Thomas Hand's listening, so Thomas
post them up. Oh, they're there. Well done, mate. Right,
Thomas Hand, on hand.
Right, raffle prize list. But you'll need to let me know how the guys can pay for them as well. Right, so there's a PayPal address. Give me a second. Right, so 2 match day tickets at Paradise Brasserie Cafe. 2 match day tickets for Club Lounge in the North Stand. 2 match day tickets for Jockstein Lounge. Debenture Silver match day ticket for Cup Final. Programme from the 1957-71 Cup Final. Signed Celtic football tops, the Lennon Mialby team. Anthony Stokes match day boot in a frame. Yo! Baby Shambles merchandise and the signed anti lyrics.
Oh, sec. We've lost him. It's back. Oh, mute that. Hang on a sec.
Fucking Ghostly Frank.
Right here. Sorry, folks. I had to turn that off because that's obviously going to drive you to the crazy house if that keeps going. So I'm going to call these lunatics back. Hopefully, it's the usual. There, Harper, you there?
Yes.
Right, because I'm just trying to call everybody back because that was going to drive people nuts. I don't know who it is because it's not coming up on the screen. Normally it comes up on the screen. This is the technical wizardry goes on behind the scenes of the HomeBhoys podcast.
Hello.
Back.
Yes.
That's still fucking there. If
Don't
you're
get that.
whoever's wearing a microphone, I don't know, give it a flick.
I'm not in a microphone.
You wearing a microphone? Anybody wearing a microphone?
You weird the microphone.
Well, like it has like a headset, like. No.
I've just got a set of earphones in with my laptop.
But you, Paul, what have you got?
I'm saying.
Same. What the fuck's going on here? I don't know. There's some weird sort of stuff going through. Anyway.
But when you see look at the call, it's none of the 3 us that's jumping up and down.
No, I don't know what's happening.
Paul just jump up and down a wee bit.
What is it? That's all right now. No,
No, I have no idea
Right.
what the hell's going on.
So where did I get? You want me to keep
Baby
reading?
Shambles.
Right, Baby Shambles merchandising, including signed one-off hand type lyric sheet, very rare. And shadowing music journalist to a gig of your choice.
Yeah.
A day with radio DJ plus hospitality. Signed match day ball with authenticity certificate and presentation box. Official signed Scotland football. Logo design plus 500 matte laminated business cards plus a Den Social Club t-shirt. 2 tickets for Mrs. Brown live show. Chris Commons Player of the Year programme signed. New blinds up to the value of £100 from R&D Soft Furnishings. 2 tickets to any Celtic game. Joe, can you hear me all right? Because this is brutal. The
I know.
sound.
Let me try and call you back again. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about this, folks. Let's try this again. Right. So I'll tell you what. I'll put everybody on one by one. Right.
Right.
Is that you? Right. So it's not you. Right.
It's coming to Paul.
It's not you. Right. So we'll put on Jason next. Right. Jason's gone. He's given up. No, he's not here. Jason, you there?
Right. Yeah.
So it's not you, right?
Right.
So it could well be Paul. Obviously, Paul just doesn't know it. Skype's a pain in the hole.
No one does for a while, too, it's a shame.
Paul, we think it's you. We think whatever it is. Where's your mic on your computer?
What do you mean? It's sticking in the
Just
computer.
Just go in, aye.
It's plugged into it. I will then have a fiddle with it because the interference has come from your lane. Because I just went through each lane there and it's coming from your lane. Just give it a fiddle with it.
Well, it's in the computer.
Oh, it's in the computer.
That's that way now.
That's how it is.
Well, whatever's going on, it's fucking something's happening.
Ghost of Frank Carson.
It's zombies in the system, right? So last I heard was
Blind.
shadowing your music journalist.
No, that was about 7 before it.
That was last night.
How big's this raffle?
Oh, but was it? Sorry, right, okay, right. Shadowing a music journalist, Jules Boyle, to a gig of your choice. A day with radio DJ Paul Mulholland plus hospitality. Signed match day ball with authenticity certificate and presentation box. Official signed Scotland football. Logo design plus 500 matte laminated business cards. Plus a DSC t-shirt from Kinghorn Creative. 2 tickets for Mrs. Brown live show. Chris Commons Player of the Year programme signed. New blinds up to the value of £100 from R&D Soft Furnishing. 2 tickets to any Celtic game. Celtic print from Geo Art. Original Jinky Pop art painting from Chris Oates. £50 voucher for Bella Vita. Sports massage from Lisa Casey, sports physiotherapist.
Oh, what's that?
Right. 5 MOTs from Cambersland Garage. Cachet of bitcoins.
Aye.
A bottle of malt whisky. Chinese takeaway to the value of 20 quid from Cathay Cuisine. 4 tickets for La Roche Rumba. Bottle of McNamara whiskey. Bottle of Smokehead single malt whiskey. So I think you'll agree the prizes are phenomenal.
So is this raffle start?
I hope I didn't win the McNamara whiskey. Fucking bitter that stuff.
Oh!
He scores.
Oh my God! Nothing but net. Here, I tell you what. Is this raffle starting on Friday and end on Monday?
I know. Jesus Christ.
Right. Right, so that's the prizes. What I need is now somebody to tell me how you can buy them. It's through PayPal, but I need them to post the address. So if you can,
The raffle you'll be able to say, we've got something for everyone in the audience.
I know.
A cuddly bear.
It's a quality raffle. So talking about raffles, shall we draw the raffle? I'll give you a bit of background before I make the draw. Okay. So John Guidetti, he'd been asked if he would donate his match shirt from the match the Feyenoord lads were over for, and he did so without hesitation. He came on as a sub, so the shirt isn't minging, although it's been rescued from being washed a couple of times. And just over £1,000 was raised, and the Dutch guys also raised €1,000. Final tally up in the next couple of weeks for the charities. So I think to all involved, especially the organisers that helped bring the Feyenoord fans across, it's a big well done from me and an absolute phenomenal effort. So I've got all the raffle tickets here, and the names are on the back of them. I've made sure I've took all Paul the Tim's ones out so that he doesn't win it. He's got an off strip. But maybe second to a shout and Rory, okay?
Jason, can I just say that I add another prize to the big list you read out?
What's that, mate?
Thomas Hand says, plus there's 2 tickets to the Soul Weekender in Ingleson.
Perfect. So is he tell you how we buy the tickets?
No, he just tweeted the list that you read out, and he says there's another 2 tickets to the Soul Weekender. But he's listening. I'll get him to. We'll get to that after the draw, right?
Yeah. Okay. Give me a wee second. I'll get the wee man done.
I'm trying to find a suitable sound effect here. Casino wheel. This could be us here. It's gonna work. That's shite.
You stole that off Chris Moran.
No, I didn't. This is on YouTube. How dare you?
Remember they had the big Ricky wheel.
We used to have that, but I don't know what happened. I don't know. We're gonna draw the. Let me have this for like as a draw.
What the fuck's that? Tarzan?
It's good, the bad, the ugly. Waiting for back again. Ah! Yeah. Better turn this down. That's back again. That sound's gone again. Hang on. Jesus, Mother of Christ. Tell you. Oh, sorry, Mary, Mother of Christ. What am I talking about? Try that again. Folks, it's never easy, but it's always fun. That's the one thing. It's always fun. It's never easy, but it's always fun. Here we go. Calling the Reverend Harper back again.
Sure, Joe, you don't need to cut us off.
What do I need to do?
Just cut Paul off.
That makes sense.
And let him keep trying to reconnect.
A panic is a problem. Is a panic. Right? Right, we're back again. Yeah,
That's still terrible.
Paul, I need to hang you up for a second, right? Paul can hear me. Paul's gone.
Oh, it's definitely coming for Paul.
Call him in a second. Call him back in a second. Okay. So we're back to the draw, yeah?
Right.
How you got?
Okay, so I've got Rory here. Okay, so you can talk into that. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you, Rory?
Hi, Rory.
Rory can't. In fact, wait, I'll take the mic out. All right. So, all right, you can hear us now.
Can hear you now, aye.
Yeah, you can hear them, Rory. Okay, say hello, everybody.
Hi.
Right, so Rory is to draw the raffle. So this is for the signed John Guidetti Celtic shirt. Okay. Okay, so close your eyes and reach in deep. Take out 1 raffle ticket. You got it. So read out which number it was.
So the number is
Yeah, the 3 numbers.
416.
Okay. Oh. So read on the back who it was.
Brendan Sweeney.
So it's Brendan Sweeney is the winner of the John Guidetti signed shirt, and the raffle ticket number was 416 416.
So I made up name. Jason.
Sorry?
So I made up name.
Brendan, no, I'm sure Brendan's one of the guys for the Jungle Boys, isn't he?
Is that not a made up name like we were talking about earlier? No.
Oh, no. I'm not that way inclined. And Rory is pure as a driven snow into me, man.
Yeah, I mean, all that. Well done, Rory.
I can testify for Rory.
So that's Brendan owes you a pipe, me man, doesn't he? What do you want to say?
Hail.
Yay!
All right, wee man. Thanks very much.
Right.
There you go, pal.
Bye.
Bye.
So the saying John Daddy shirt goes to.
Brendan Sweeney.
Where is any idea where Brendan is? Or should we give out his address? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
This is to Paul and ask him to reboot his computer.
Oh, I do, yeah, because that's it's obviously just some sort of bug in the works. Because if there's nothing going on with his make and it's internal, something there's a connection problem. Just a pain.
So that's the winner is 416 Brendan Sweeney.
Brendan Sweeney. Congratulations, Brendan. So, happy days.
I was actually panicking in case my name would get drawn out there. I'd have been a total redneck.
You would have had to redraw it, though, in fairness. Like,
Aye, I know.
For the sake of your marriage. You know what I mean? Is Miss Linda coming next week, yeah?
She is. I heard a quality quote tonight from one of our Fat Club members, and it says, "Behind every good man, there's a suffering wife." And there's a bit of merit in that statement.
Absolutely. No good deed is done without somebody to take the brunt. I mean, and
that's it, mate. So, do we, for the other raffle...
He used to play for Celtic.
Do we? Well done.
DJ shoots, he scored on a hat-trick, right, boys?
Oh, man. I've ever seen a guy with a Douay jersey on. You're like, oh, bad move, brother. Bad move.
So Brendan's in Clydebank. The text there, the better Celtic man you could not pick. There you go. So delighted Brendan's won.
And that will be hand delivered by yourself, no?
No, I've not got the strip. I only the tickets. So the guy who run the obviously got all the Feyenoord supports. He'll deal with that.
I was just thinking, like, were you out in the Hoops bar at the weekend, glad handing fans? You might want to do public appearances now.
Me, I wasn't even in.
Well,
the Hoops bar. I just walked past it.
Joe, you know Hedgie from what?
Aye.
He listens to this, like, no, but he was telling me he was in Gregori's. Is it Gregori's that you call it, Temple Bar? At the weekend, he had a Celtic polo on and some mad fan came out, "Oh, Celtic, Bobby Sands, James Connolly," and proceeded to start singing all Celtic songs and that. And he said he'd been over. Hedgie says, "Oh, were you one of the boys that was over at Celtic Park?" And he says he had been. He was one of the boys that was there. And that, like, no,
brilliant.
So obviously, I'm getting a bigger soft spot for Feyenoord as the weeks go by.
Tell you.
There we go.
Come one, come all. So
what you get Guidetti on my Feyenoord shirt next season?
Oh. What about our old manager and my esteemed ex-Celt Neil Lennon's comments? Was it today or yesterday about?
Don't know about this.
You know about this?
No.
He's been asked about Scottish football, and he says Scottish football needs Sevco to get promoted. And it's a poorer league without them and all this kind of stuff, and waxing lyrical about Stuart McCall and stuff like that.
You're joking me.
Quite embarrassing, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I don't know the question he's been asked. You know, they've obviously posed the question to him, but instead of just saying, I don't really know. It's once again,
like I said,
he that puts his foot in it.
There's that dance between manager and journalist. You know what I mean, something's got to be said. You got to give them something. They're going to give you something. It's a fucking sad state of affairs, and I'm delighted to have someone like Ronnie Deila who just doesn't give a shit about that.
Right, I know.
Brilliant. Not to down cry Neil Lennon. Well, maybe two, because, like, I mean, keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? You're not involved in Scottish football.
Aye, I know.
So,
I know. Right. So if any journalists come to your friend, they just hunt them. Just say, look, go to somebody else.
And if you listen to this show, like, just piss off. So, I've got an email here to Big Stuart on Twitter.
Hang on to the toilet 1 second. Keep
You
going.
know what? You know what fucking Big Stuart's got to say, like?
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll stay on. Big Stuart,
Okay,
apologies.
yeah, well.
Apologies, Big Stuart. How big is Stuart? It depends how big he is. Because if he can knock my bollocks in.
Anybody that calls himself Big Stuart, it means they're big. Well, we'd probably call him fucking hell. That's Big Stuart.
Fucking Big Stuart. Maybe he's got a big head, who knows?
Hi lads, could you mention for your listeners that the Govan Food Bank is in dire need of food and are looking for donations. Food can be dropped off in the Tall Cranes pub on Craigton Road in Govan. For more information, contact Big Stuart at White Italy on Twitter. Mogwa, which is Magwa, hope I pronounced that right, which is at Govan Emerald, or Danny, my phone's went off, or Danny at Tall Cranes. So that's the Govan Food Bank in dire need of food and looking for donations. So contact White Italy on Twitter, Govan Emerald on Twitter, or Tall Cranes on Twitter. Cheers.
Right, so there you go. Govan Food Bank.
Well, just a wee congratulations to our very own Tara. She got a full-time position with I think it's with the charity she works with, is it?
Oh, a second. Sorry, 1 second. No, pause.
Seen her celebrating on Facebook last week. So anyway, congratulations, Tara. I'm sure you're listening.
Yeah, well done, Tara. Celebrate the show. Absolutely. She quite liked the Liverpool stuff. I was tweeting today. I know she's got a wee soft spot for the twats, but I thought it was quite good to get an opportunity to
Paul's back.
Paul's back. Are you back?
Yeah.
Happy days.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Here, by the way,
I was never away.
You know?
What's
I can hear you fine. That's why I couldn't understand when you asked me to reboot the PC.
Joe couldn't let me off.
We couldn't hear you, mate. It was
I
just
can hear you fine.
No, we couldn't hear you.
It's crystal clear now. It's perfect.
Now, but I hear, listen, that Liverpool lane, and I'm sure you'll sort that out on Saturday night, Jason, when you start bending Tara's ear about Everton at some point.
No, I'm not going to bend the Indies ear.
Actually, no, you'll be asleep. That's all right.
I have to say, I'm gutted. I'm missing it this because all three I've got to be there this weekend.
Well, fantastic.
Is there any chance?
Fuck you.
Is there any chance Mr. McKenna could be maybe singing his wee song? You're going to let listeners know about this new song for the Kano Foundation that me, Harper, and Paul aren't privileged enough to get a wee listen to.
It's not privilege. It's nothing to do with privilege. Am I going to sing it live? No, because it's a big song, right? And there's a lot in the song. Like, I'll put it this way: when I recorded it, before I mixed it, I had to count all the tracks, and there's 285 different separate tracks on it. You know what I mean? Because it's a fairly big song, and I have a bunch of kids singing at the end of it. I'll explain that in a second. Anyway, I really need to go to the toilet. But
so you're going to get a call.
I am.
You're going to get a call for Pat in Melbourne.
What are you, fucking psychic?
Aye.
But the Kano song. You're probably going to hopefully hear it next week. I don't know if they're going to put it to a slideshow or something out there, but they're all very happy with it, which is fantastic. I'm delighted. There's a lot of work went into it, but it's not the kind of song I could do justice to just starting singing it with a guitar, because it's a lot more.
I'm sure it's good, but they wouldn't have told you if they thought it was shite, right, would they?
No, they said they really liked it, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? But there was a lot of work put into it, and I had a draft of it.
There was a lot of work. You put on fucking a stone just like that,
Didn't put on a stone. Why the fuck? What fucking... You're only back 1 week and you're fucking just get busting my balls.
Aye, well, listen, see, it's easy to throw bricks at fucking houses when there's name down the house. That's all I'm going to say.
The houses are so fucking big, it's not hard to miss.
That's all I'm going to say about last week. It's easy to throw bricks when there's nobody in the fucking house.
Hey, man, you start Fat Club, right? I'm going for a whiz.
Fucking country clubs and cigars.
Start Fat Club, right? Start Fat Club and tell everybody how well they're doing.
No, we're getting a call now, so we'll wait.
Right,
well, left the fucking room.
I'm going to the
toilet. How are you going to get a call if Joe needs to answer it?
I'll be back in 2 minutes. Not 2 minutes. One minute.
Hurry up. Keep talking, man.
Fuck's sake.
I know.
You shouldn't even be drinking when you've got work in the morning. We just got to sit in silence.
Well, I can read out. Hopefully they've posted the raffle details. Right, here it's here. Right, I've got it. So all those raffle prizes, which I'm sure all the listeners will agree are phenomenal. So if he's won a chance at winning them, and all the money raised, every single penny is going to the Kano Foundation. So the charity work this group does is phenomenal. So, and the last time they done it was for the Thai Tims. They made them a right few quid. So it's £5 a strip. So the minimum you can pay is £5. Buy as many as you want. The £5 a strip, and you send it to the Lions Den 67 at gmail.com. So it's TheLionsDen 67 at gmail.com. So the Lions Den 67 at gmail.com. Put raffles in the comment box and send money as a friend. So basically, anyone that wants to purchase a raffle ticket, just send the money to the Lions Den 67 at gmail.com. Friday night is Paul's Asterisk Years, and they'll be getting drawn then. So I don't actually know when the closing date is, but if you get them in the next couple of days, you'll be fine. And you have the prizes yourself, so you can listen back to the show for a rerun of them. But the prizes are absolutely phenomenal. So as I say, big up to everybody that's donated prizes, and really looking forward to Friday night and see the Asterisk Years again. See it sober this time because I'm driving. There you go. Might have a whole new meaning to me rather than when I had a couple of pints in me the first time.
Couple?
I only had a few. It was early doors, wasn't it? Paul, it was the time that started. Paul was about 2 or something like that. 2, I think, a couple of pints before him. But it was good. But I'm driving this one because I don't obviously the Kano dance. And Saturday night, really looking forward to that, and I don't want to ruin it. So I'll be driving.
Right.
I'll come in and get you, Paul, in the town on Friday and then take you along.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I'm waiting on this phone call, but until it comes, we'll just keep going. Do you want to do Fat Club, Harbour?
Aye, best Celtic song yet. Get in, Brendan Tier. Talk about me, obviously.
I wouldn't necessarily trust Brenda's judgment.
All right. Say no more. So, Fat Club. Right. To anybody who was demoralised who's part of the Fat Club and heard Joe reading out their weights for fucking 3 weeks ago last week, we apologise for that.
I'm sure they were vastly different.
I should have been clearer to Joe that he had to actually get weights off people last week. But I was sick. I was high on antibiotics. What can I say? Giant gamma steaks.
That's the other side of it.
Right. So, anyway.
Can.
No? I kind of did, didn't I've got another message. Oh, that's sorry. So he's just got to send an email. I don't think he's calling. Right, so Fat Club. Start with myself, right? Now, I need to qualify this, right? I'm 17.8. No, I'm not. I am. Which is what? Shit, I've put 4 pounds on that. Is that right?
But when was the last time you were on the show, though?
I sent you my weight last week, so it was 17.4. I put on 4 pounds in the last week. However, as I say, right, I've been doing a lot of heavy drinking because I've had visitors to America, right? And I've not been able to go to the country club for the last 2 weeks because of my tattoo. And I was ill with my tattoo. I had cellulitis. I was gravely ill. I'm on a second week of fucking antibiotics now. Just trying to get the fucking infection to go. So all I've done is been comfort eating and mostly comfort drinking, to be fair. So I've put on 4 pounds. But I'm blaming it on not being able to go swimming and go to the steam room and all that. So that's fair enough.
I think we should rename this Therapy Club.
Aye.
But,
however, there are success stories in our midst.
Is that me?
No, it's not fucking me. Jim Fitz, right? 16 stone 2. He started off at 17.3. So that's a loss of fucking over a stone.
Fucking nice one, Jim.
Tony McAtee, 13.3. Started off at 14.8. That's nearly 1.5 stone.
What are you talking about, 13.3?
That's what you sent me.
No, I didn't.
Why you did? See you on
No, I
the
didn't. An upper pound, Joe, you better laugh for you doing it.
He's maybe went up a pound for last week, but he's still doing 1.5 for the start.
Wait a second.
It's certainly that fact club. I'll fucking tell you that.
I haven't got to the naughty last week because fucking Joe never gave Joe their weight last week.
Tony's 13-13.
Ah, 13. I wrote 13-3. He's still lost £9, to be fair.
£9, brilliant. But how about the fucking earth-shattering revelation we got a minute ago?
Right, so Jim Fitz is still in the lead then. Right, I've not had anything to Des Healy. Stephen Dow, 16.5, which is, he was 17 stone at the start. So he's lost, £8.
That's brilliant.
Jason, 13.9. I don't think you're even trying, Jason.
Well, it's body length. I'm off Sweeties, crisp biscuits and cakes. Is that not
That's what I
right?
mean, and that's what I mean. And you're not losing like 14.1 to 13.9 is push.
That's pretty shit.
You're right. Hang on, we'll get a pep talk for Joe again. You're out, Joe. You need to let us out to do it again.
Fortunately for you, Paul Nicol is still piling on the pounds. Paul, he's up to 74 now. He's got this the wrong way. He's trying to win the other way. Dr. J's went for 20.15, which I didn't understand. Now it's 293. He's just trying to fuck everything up. I think he's just went to pounds.
Somebody call Stephen Hawking. I can't figure this out.
Dr. J's 293 pounds, and Kevin Wedlock. He's actually a man of mystery. He just stays 15 stone every week. He's 15 stone every week.
His fucking scales are broke.
He's just looking himself in the mirror and going, I bet that's 15 stone. And Joe?
I am still the same weight. I went from 15.2 to 14.12. Still 14.12. Which isn't bad.
I'm not sure if I believe that.
Why? Why did you believe it?
I don't know if I believe the original was the £4.
What the fuck? Just because we're on that...
One jog around the park with a pink fucking backsack doesn't get rid of the £4.
It's not one jog around the park, it's many jogs around the park. The problem is, this week I spent...
You told me when you found out you got the job, you ran up a fucking mountain. And you've not lost any weight.
I did, I walked for about an hour and a half, all uphill, backpack.
The only man I know that can run and eat at the same thing.
I'm like Forrest Gump. That's me.
Yeah.
But no, because I didn't get out much this week because I was at home doing the Kano song, and that takes like writing it doesn't take that long, right? Because you figure it out. But then see recording it and making sure it sounds good and getting it all on time and figuring it all out. Like I said, there's 285 separate tracks on the song, and it's quite big. Is this emotional music or something?
I'm playing the violin, you know.
Oh, you fuck off. Alright, so
I thought he was wailing for the mosque there.
He's screaming from the minarets. Listen, but hey guys, though, I did something selfless. What the fuck were you doing? You were lying at home sick, comfort eating, talking to Häagen-Dazs.
I was a fucking day ago. I tell you, I laughed, right? I was drinking like fucking the antibiotics. Right? So, because I looked up the drug online, doctor online. It's in my bookmarks. Anyway, and I found that it said that alcohol does not affect the performance of this drug.
It must be true. It's on the internet.
Because that was the day Nick arrived to New York, Jason, right? So I've got to drink heavy. So I drank for, to be fair, 3 days after they went away. But
is it warm down?
I still was the better last Friday, so I had to go back to the doctor and I went, shit, maybe that's, you can't trust it when you need the internet. I found it. So maybe the drugs under it because of the drink. So I asked the doctor on Friday, I says, got out for a meal tonight, I might have a glass of wine with my dinner. She says, just be very careful, David, right? She says, they don't affect how the drugs work. She says, but if you went in a kind of sort of session, you'd be puking everywhere. I thought, it's not fucking amateur you're talking to here. Never told her to drink for 5 fucking days. Never even felt it. Puke, I was eating like fuck. So, it's sterner stuff, but I'm happy to say that the cellulitis is in retreat. I'm winning the war, but There you go.
That cellulitis is fucking. That's rough stuff.
As
I've had that twice. I had that twice in my leg, and it's
elephant's leg, we call it. It can be quite dangerous, like, but
it can kill you if not treated. Like it can spread because it's a cousin of the flesh-eating disease.
That's right.
It's fucking it's nasty shit. And you feel like they have the flu.
Oh, joking aside, like my arm looked like my thigh, like it was that fucking big.
That's fucking nasty.
There you go.
Health corner as well.
You know what me assholes are on.
Oh, aye. Not a thing said.
It's great to know that there's drugs out there that you can drink on. There you go. Dr. J, in fact, told me that I'm being a doctor. He's not a real doctor, he's a chiropractor.
I thought he was a basketball player, no?
He says to me you should have a glass of water after every drink just to fucking help with antibiotics. That's not right.
Here, know what you can do, though? Cut out the middle, man. Have ice.
Oh, I've got loads of ice,
There you go. Winner, chicken dinner.
Sorry.
Fucking treasure. Health corner. HomeBhoys health corner. How to lose weight, how to get patient and still keep hydrated.
Anyway, like I think that there's people here not trying hard enough, right? Even though I put on the weight, so I'm going to be back to the gym next week, and it's going to be, I promise I'll weight loss at least 3 pounds by next week.
Back to the gym? Is that your neighbour?
Well, back to the swimming pool. I've not actually made it into the gym.
This is all going awry.
Was it ever going to be anything else?
Can't you exercise when you've got a new tattoo?
What?
You can't, that's a fact.
Tell that to the fucking...
You can't lift weights training.
Honestly, it's like being at university being on this show. It's brilliant.
I tell you what, right? So you can't exercise after having a tattoo, but you can get pasted on antibiotics.
Yeah.
Aye. I'm a fucking proof.
Chris Commons would never be fucking fit in.
Absolutely, aye. It's true.
I'm telling you.
Half the football players we know will be fat.
Because the sweat fuck up the colour in the ink.
Oh, so it's an artistic restriction.
That's a fact. They're only getting black tattoos. That's common.
I've got a tattoo fucking artist against the kettlebell expert. What a double that. You two.
Hey, fucking hair. You're alright. You're on the fucking Jesus diet. Know what I mean?
Hey, I'm double whammy with me. I'm getting inner strength, plus I'm losing weight. You can't beat it.
Fucking strolling around next week like a fucking skin-tight fucking shirt, will you? Tuxedo.
Those 4 pounds in 5 weeks can't be done.
Well, that's all right. You lost 4 pounds every 5 weeks. You wouldn't be long and fading away to nothing, pal.
Yeah,
you be careful.
A couple of years, like.
I know, but the thing is, I think, Harper, you get to the point you go, I just lost 2 pounds. I'm going to celebrate that.
Aye. Do you know what? Here's another wee tip for people, right? Along with the Star Anise, right? That new Guinness lager. Lovely. Don't know if you'll get it in Scotland, but Hop House 13. It's actual lager made with Guinness. It's nicely.
So what we're trying to do here at Fat Club, right, is find the balance between being able to get fairly drunk as often as possible and lose weight. Right, which is probably going to end up with fucking jaundice for half the fucking people who are trying to fucking take part in Fat Club because their livers are going to give way because they're not going to eat and they're going to drink fucking Guinness. Diageo's profits are about to rocket.
I should mention, by the way, it's fluxacillin, right? So if the doctor gives you fluxacillin and says you shouldn't drink with that, they're telling you lies, right? Fluxacillin.
That's it. Don't trust the professionals.
By the way, can we just say the disclaimer here? These are not the views shared by the other 3 members of the panel. In case we get a fucking lawsuit.
No. Plus, my mother's a nurse. My mother's a nurse. I can get this clarified. I can get the actual facts if you want.
It's on Doctor All Night.
Well then,
Jesus Christ. That's a great album. For it.
He's going to die online.
That's a fucking...
Electronic fag.
Health entrepreneur David Harper died online.
There's some calories in that electronic fag, I'll tell you. I shouldn't have got the watermelon flavour.
Watermelon flavour.
Fat Club, 1 dead. Everybody went to his funeral and had some cocktail finger food.
Anyway, I'm demanding more effort right away for us.
You're demanding more effort, but you're not actually willing to go to the fucking yard yourself. Oh, sweet Jesus. Anyway.
Kettlebell Kenny there.
Kenny, you boys don't know what I put in. I put in a lot of work. I mean,
Right.
I don't take see. I go into the supermarket. I don't take the escalators or the lift. Take the stairs. That doesn't make me some sort of martyr. I'm just saying it's something you can do to like keep your heart rate going.
Sweet, you do.
I mean,
Yep.
there's opportunities every day to just kind of pump your blood, right? That sounds
That's what you were going to say. You don't take a trolley or a basket, you juggle. That video is you walking in the supermarket juggling chickens.
fucking Joe's doing a lap at Tesco.
Big pounds of cheese flying about.
One guy doing supermarket sweep. Running around throwing shit in the trolley, top speed.
Fucking Gavin steaks and an apple.
Fuck me, this show has gone off the reservation.
That's it. Right, back to the football. So, what's our plans? Obviously, well, we've got the Kano Foundation this Saturday night. Paul's got the Asterisk years. What's your any other Asterisk years before you hit the land of Oz, Paul?
Nope, that's the last one before I go. Friday night,
Right.
the CSA.
And when do you go to Australia?
A week tomorrow.
A week tomorrow. Have you ever been to Australia before?
Never, no.
No, very good, mate. So, what's your flight? Where are you going first of all? You stop off anywhere? Or
Yes, I'm stopping off in Dubai. And what I initially was going to do was kind of have a layover because they gave you the option, but everybody I spoke to was like, nah, didn't bother, it's just a waste of fucking time and blah, 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 blah. So apparently what the plane does is touch down there, you get off at the backstay on it, refuels, and then you just jump back on it 2 hours later.
Right.
So I thought, right, I'll do that. The first gig is in Melbourne on Saturday, April 4th. That's hosted by the Jockstein CSC at the Pint on Punt in Windsor. And tickets are $5 for CSC members, $10 for non-members. Profits are to cover prices to cover costs, and any profits are made they'll go to local charities. Tickets are available through PayPal or bank transfer. You can visit the JocksteinCSCMelbourne.com for more info. And then obviously up to the Gold Coast to Brisbane, Friday, April 10th. It's hosted by Chris McMonigal and the members of the Brisbane CSC in Mick O'Malley's Irish Pub on Queen Street. No charges, but there will be donations if people want to make that. Saturday, the 11th April, I'm in Sydney, hosted by the Sydney City CSC, Cheers Bar, 561 George Street, 7:30pm start, followed by the Inverness game at 9:45pm. And I have to say, I like the fucking sound of that. Saturday night Celtic game. And then following Saturday is the Perth CSC, Saturday 18th April, and the Mandurah CSC, so Rosie O'Grady's 205 James Street in Northridge. Tickets are $5 for CSC members, $10 for non-members. You can find all that information on asteriskdownunder.com. And there is now books down there as well that the guys are already selling. There'll be books at the night and stuff like that. People want to buy them. And yeah, I can't wait. It's, as I say, I've never been that far away from home in my life, never been to Australia in my life, and really looking forward to it.
Just going to say, Paul,
Paul, can I just start? Like, I got a message from Jim Kinlan earlier on day when I was in Mallorca, and he was showing me the pictures of saying how many of these tickets do you want, Harper? He's absolutely buzzing. He's got all the tickets and that. And don't know, Jim must be one of the organisers, but just maybe Jim's going to shout out to some of the guys that are promoting this for you, know?
Jim has he's been one of the integral parts of the whole thing, but he's based just outside Sydney, so he's been really promoting the Sydney thing. And then people all over, Sean Fitzgerald and Melbourne and Davey and Martin and Perth and Chris McMonigal, of course, in Brisbane. And bit by bit, they've been kind of putting stuff together. And Jim, especially, has been a constant source. And it's even like, because you're kind of going into these situations a wee bit blind, and then you get a guy like Sean Fitzgerald in Melbourne who's in, right, listen, you stayed at my house, what do you want to do? This is what we've got, take you here, that kind of thing. Jim, right, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, and that, and it makes you feel so welcome and humble, and that's kind of what you need, because I see a lot of these kind of tour things and that as this is, basically citizen journalism, and what that means is basically somebody like me doing something and then asking people like you and listeners and whatever to join my voice and fight it back against the more powerful enemy and stuff like that. And so, you get enough kind of sniping and people fucking behind your back and all that kind of thing, that you need positive people around you to sort of, give the kind of Duracell battery to keep going. And guys like Jim and Sean and all that, and Davey and Perth and Chris, they do all that, because, it's kind of like, I didn't go into these things like, the guys are always sort of like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And that's something I've never even thought about, because what I'm going to do today is show the film, and anything apart from that is a bonus. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned. But it's been a long time in the planning this. Flights were booked way back in August, internal flights were booked way back in January, and it's going to be good to actually go down there. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I really haven't got any idea what to expect, because I've been so busy. It's not like, normally if you book a holiday or whatever, you're sitting there 3-4 months going, I can't wait to go. I've been so busy with other stuff, I've hardly even thought about it. And so I've been sort of indebted to people like Jim and that who've constantly been promoting and all that kind of thing. And yeah, as I say, I'm really looking forward to more importantly take the film. And exciting things are happening in the back of the film. I mean, the Celtic Park do that we're doing as well. I mean, that, we had a limit of 150 people for that, and that's now at 300. And so the next option is to go up. So we're kind of pushing them to get an extra screen, to get 5 or 6 more tables, and hopefully confirm that in the morning. So the interest is growing, and it helps to see having positive people around you and all that kind of thing. And I mean, it's been a tough slog because I'm balancing college work and going to see family and all that still. But at the end of the day, you can't complain, because this is a dream come true,
I think it's important that you give a shout out to the guys who have helped you, been an integral part of promoting it and actually making this happen, because obviously this isn't easy to pull together, and logistically, bloody Australia's the size of Europe probably. I'm not really too sure, but I don't think it's represented right in the map, the size of territory it covers. So I think it's an amazing feat, Colin. I think you should be very proud of yourself. But it's great that you give the guys, especially the guys that have been an integral part of organising it for you, because obviously the work and hours that they've put in, and they'll get little back personally, but they'll obviously get great self-satisfaction at showing this at their Celtic Supporters Club in whatever state it is you're doing them. And great credit to all the guys that did it.
Exactly. I mean,
it's like, you talk about the one on Friday. Terry, one of the organisers for Friday, has been at me constantly about, what do you think works, what do you think doesn't, because they obviously want to run a great night. And because I've done so many of these now, I can tell people, like, this is what works, this is what today, and this will work, and didn't do this, didn't do that, and all that kind of thing. And so that's a good thing, because it's almost like you can go into a kind of autopilot with that kind of thing, and then what then makes it is the crowd of people that are there. They'll determine how good the night will be or whatever, and put the message out there and stuff. And also, I think, as I said before, like with the actual film, was that, there was quite a few people, prominent people out there that I know for a fact just could not wait for this to come out so they could rubbish it and kind of point out what was wrong with it and all that kind of thing. And these people have just scuttled back under the rocks that they came out with maybe 3 or 4 years ago when they seen a pound note in Celtic. And that's a good thing. And that's something I never even thought about. It was somebody else that pointed that out to me. And I kind of think, it is, because it is a shame, because all I've tried to do with this, with the backing of people like yourselves and all that, is to show Celtic supporters that, as I've Celtic supporter myself, that we were cheated. And that's it. That's all I've ever tried to do with this. And, speaking to Jar there, and he was, last week, and he was talking about coming up to Celtic Park doing whatever. And he was just saying, I can't believe the reaction this has had, And I said, I know. I said, well, a lot of that's due to your talent, and stuff like that, and the way we were able to combine the story with your talent. And, as I said, I'll be talking about it later, but we will be doing another film as well, which will start probably the start of next year and stuff like that. So, it's good to have that kind of outlet to do this kind of thing and to highlight these kind of things, because I'd still believe that, if we were sitting here tonight talking about corruption in the Serie A, people would say, well, what'd you expect? When you talk about in Scotland, people dismiss it. And they try to say to people, this has been one of the most corrupt leagues and societies in Europe, certainly, and we can prove it. And that's why, as you said before, when you hear half-wits like Paul Payton saying Celtic have manipulated referees for years, well, we'll show Paul Payton with the next project that it's been the exact opposite of that, and that's kind of all I ever want to try and do, you know.
Yeah. And I think see like this. I've been a constant critic of people who are obsessed by that lot. And there's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of them masquerading as Celtic fans, but really all they do is hate them, and they're kind of bigots in my eyes. And I'm always a bit like, I'm not interested in reading anything to do with them because they don't interest me. You know, they're no my love. I love Celtic. You know, and your film, it touches aspects of other parts of Scottish society, but it's all about Celtic were cheated. It's all about what was done wrong to us. And all your film is about Celtic, and it's about things that have had an adverse effect on Celtic and Celtic's history and where we've suffered. It's not obsessed with anything else apart from the wrongdoing to Celtic and naming the people who actually played a part in wronging Celtic. So it's Celtic orientated, which hence I love it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not interested in this obsession with them. You know, it was good to have a laugh about them and stuff like that, but let them carry on and let them do what they want to do. But they've got nothing really to do with us now. So
I know. I think you're right, and I'm no somebody who I can't really care about. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. But it's like I see guys tweet every single day. It's Sevco, and I could not care less. You know, guys said to me about the day that King and that went in. So what do you think? I said, I think the same as I fucking would if Alloa had new leadership in, or Stenhouse Muir or whatever. And it doesn't really fucking bother me. This thing was, I mean, I actually heard Andy Cameron tell a story on a TV programme last week about how he said that what he loved about Irish sport was that everybody seethed and roared on that during the game, but after everybody had a pint together, and he said, you didn't get that in Scotland. And I said, that's fine. But the reason you didn't get that in Scotland was because of you, Andy, people like you, and the team you supported. You know what I mean? That's why it doesn't happen in Scotland. And they created this hatred towards everything that we stood for, through starting off with Bill Struth in 1911, straight on, and they had a policy of apartheid for the end of 1989. That's what created this fucking hatred in Scotland and Scottish football. And we polarised ourselves because of that. And I tried to say that this thing wasn't about Rangers against Celtic, it was about Rangers against Scottish football. You know, it was because they had to find some way of getting up the ladder unfairly, because they had tried for 20, 30 years before that and not been able to do that. So, you know, to show, but at the end of the day, it's a Celtic-centric thing. And it was all about the suffering that each and every one of us, the Celtic supporters of the same age, went through in the late 80s and early 90s and stuff like that. And I mean, it's often I think back and people occasionally say, if you think about the times 93, 94, 95 even, when you think about the disasters of Rafe Rovers fucking going down to Anfield 6-0 and, you know, getting knocked out at Falkirk in the Cup, Motherwell in the Cup, first round and that, and then you look at us now, and it's fucking unbelievable. And the guy says to me, and you look at them now. I said, no, I can't look at them now because they're fucking gone. You know, what I can look at is a tribute act, and it's absolutely staggering. And I've said it a million times before, if you told me in 1997, when they done 9 in a row, that within 20 years we could fucking do it, I would never have believed you. But you know what? Well on our way.
See, the sad thing is, like, I'm the same age as you, Paul, right? That's not the sad thing, like, but
21?
Like the years when the Huns got 9 in a row were probably my best years supporting Celtic, just because of the age of us.
Mm.
So I mean, and going to the football and the camaraderie and all that, and that's probably when I enjoyed going to the games more than any other time in my life, just because of the age. As I say, the age, and the before the game, the after the game, the fucking not getting home Sunday, all that kind of fucking crap. But it should have been so much fucking better.
Well, aye, and I think,
can you imagine how good it would have been if we'd been fucking playing on a level playing field at that time?
Aye, I know, and I think with the benefit of hindsight, Harper, what people of our generation realised then was that this is actually me on the football club. Because why would you wait anywhere near it? because it was shite and we were crap and we were awful for years and stuff like that. But there's a lot of myths around that era. Celtic fans never abandoned that club until there was an official sort of boycott started in 1994. They were still getting averages of 34, 35, 36,000 people going. And that was in the midst of no winning trophies for 3, 4, 5 years. And as I said before, a guy, if ever it was summed up, a guy showed me a thing in Allah where Tommy Burns he wrote to Tommy Burns as Kilmarnock manager and said, I'm thinking about chucking it. Can I stand this anymore at Celtic, blah, blah, blah. And Tommy Burns wrote this long letter on him, Kilmarnock headed people saying, don't give up, because you are the football club. You are Celtic Football Club. And that is what separates. And it is, and every set of fans is the football club, of course. And that's kind of why we were saved and prospered and they died, because they're just not the same and they never will be. It's fucking incredible. The crises that we went through every week, Scots for Extra Time, genuinely, more bad news at Celtic and that kind of. These are happening every single day at Ibrox now, tenfold. A guy gets put on the board one day, then he's fucked off it for racism the next day. A guy goes to fit up Ibrox one day, then he's fucked out it completely for racism the next day. And it's just like, this isn't coincidences. This isn't fucking some. They're no anomalies in the support. This is who they are. And this attitude is perpetrated by one phrase. It's the same attitude that says, we can cheat Celtic forever. We can do it with refereeing. We can do it through the media. We can do it through fucking banks. We can do it through the Edinburgh establishment. Why? Because we are the people.
We are the people, huh?
And that's what Celtic supporters and everything have managed to not only prove wrong, but destroy as well.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. And there's such a venom involved in that statement. We are the people. Because
sorry, just one last thing, Jason. You see it, Joe, the North Island, the fucking Orange Order is exactly the same. We're not talking to anybody. We'll do what we like, and you can fucking lump it. And that's exactly what their mentality was in Scotland forever, until it was the thing that eventually killed them.
Aye. Totally.
No comment at all.
See the thing for me is like people like now it's like they always use this Celtic's get more money, Celtic's get this, and like using things for of course we should beat Dundee United 4 games because we've got more money and but see all our money is generated by our support. We've got thousands upon thousands of fans that turn up week in, week out to support that club and put their hard-earned cash into that club. So our club's ran by the money that the supporters give us, because let's face it, see sponsorship and stuff like that, it must be minimal what we get with TV companies. They're dropping the ocean. So Celtic are primarily funded by the support. So if every other team was funded by their support, they'd be able to compete with us.
Aye.
They just don't have. Aye. You know what I mean?
It's not our fault. Fucking
exactly.
fans chucked it, Hearts fans chucked it, Dundee United fans chucked it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. We've not got an Arab billionaire. We've not got some Russian kind of oligarch that puts money into Celtic. We fund ourselves. We are Celtic. So at the end of the day, we've got nothing to be apologetic for being guys that turn up week in, week out, love our club and follow them all over the length and breadth of the country or Europe. That's nothing to be apologising about. But the media in this country kind of makes you feel as if, well, what do you expect? Of course you should beat them. Yeah. Well, we can afford to get better players. We can afford to pay better wages because we turn up and we support our team.
Right.
So, and I've got nothing to be apologetic for.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the goldfish mentality. Aye, exactly. And the goldfish fucking bowl mentality, fucking the media in this country is absolutely staggering. I've seen it in full fucking evidence last week. Fucking Michael Grant, Ewan Murray, Graham Spears, all talking about Advocat getting the job at Sunderland, and the little general's back, and I said, what a job he done. And I said to every single one of them, I said, you better tell the cunt he's not got £75 million worth of taxpayers' money to spend this time. Because that's the only way you've got fucking success. And they think you forget about that. You know what I mean? They think people are just going to turn around and say, oh no, Dick Advocat, he was a fantastic manager. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. I mean, the only reason they fucking promoted Dick Advocat when back in the day was so they could wear orange strips and pretend not to be bigots.
I remember that,
See, I listen to that, the Radio 5 Live, the football phone-in show. It's on a Friday night, Saturday morning, early hours. Always listen to the podcast. Tim Vickery and Dotun Adebayo, the big Nigerian guy. So they had one of the guys, can't remember his name, one of the sort of correspondence comes on. He's from South Africa. So a lot about African football. And one of the first questions was for a Sevco supporter, what do you think of Dave King? Because obviously he's took over our club. The guy was like straight away, he says at the start he was a bit of a Robin Hood character. He says, because this Scottish guy lived in South Africa, and then he says, but nobody really knows how he made his money. He says, nobody really knows about this guy. He says, obviously he's made a lot of money. But he says he was kind of a bit of a Robin Hood character, because people love like a rebel, somebody that doesn't conform to the rules and stuff like that. But he says then it became quite apparent by everything in South Africa. This guy was making fortunes and wasn't paying for it. He wasn't paying the tax. So he says then he's not a very well liked person in South Africa because of that. And then he says the lengths that he went to hide his money. And he says everybody get totally hacked off it, because he said it was quite a high profile case. So in the long and short of it, reading between the lines of what the guy was trying to say is he's not very well liked and he's not to be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And that's the guy that every one of them have pinned their lifetime hopes on.
Aye,
The king.
What I would say to that right now is, where is he now? He's gone. Because they just slipped under the mainstream that the Sevcos had to get another £1.5 million loan to pay the wages this month. And Dave King's not going to fund a penny at it until he's given the directorship. So he's basically saying to fucking the SFA, they're going under if you didn't give me the directorship. A month after saying, it doesn't matter, I'm a fucking directory, I've controlled 40 companies in South Africa without being a director, it doesn't matter to me.
I got more money than the Beatles.
I know, I mean, it's fucking, and the media, as you say, the media just sit there, aye, all right, Dave, no problem, aye. Are you fucking kidding me on here? You know what I mean?
I know, it's just bloody, I don't know, it's just...
It's fucking hilarious is what it is. It's hilarious.
And then Paul Murray said today, we've got to fucking disgrace the people that used to run this football club. Well, you mean you, Paul? And Dave King. You know what I mean? You were part of the fucking thing.
Oh, man, it's fantastic, isn't it?
But you think they'd won the European Cup the other day? Fucking beat Hibs. Oh, bloody hell.
Maybe Allo.
Aye.
Michael Chopper.
Allo was cheating,
They're nicknamed the Wasps.
Oh, aye, same old Allo, always
Always
cheating.
cheating, aye.
That was brilliant. That was one of the funniest vans I've ever seen. Same old Allo, always cheating. Anyway, when was the last time anybody sung that shit?
Yeah, but the best it is, one of their own supporters recorded that and put it online. that is the bit that gets me.
Aye.
Who the hell would do that?
I know.
If I'm at a Celtic game, right, and you see something that's fucking pretty unsavoury, and it does harm, the last thing in my mind is to fucking record that and put it on to embarrass Celtic supporters. You bury that to the back of your mind and never mention it again. It's just...
sweetie waves, but,
That's, they're everywhere.
Right, so are we on the good and bad? Because it's almost 10 o'clock, fuck's sake.
You're working
Yeah.
on.
I'm working. What are you, my dad?
I've noticed how sober he is tonight, by the way. You don't notice?
I'm not sober.
You're sober. I can tell you're not gibbering a lot of shit.
Fucking what? Harper, the psychoanalyst?
Yes.
Sitting at a bar telling me I'm pissed? No, I'm not pissed. I don't know.
I'm only a wee bit, 3/4 pissed.
3/4 pissed? Have you got a system?
I'm just not there yet.
Okay. Right, so good and bad. We'll go to Paul. Paul, good or bad?
The bad for me is just the whole John Cadet thing. Just an absolute farce, and it just embarrasses us to the extent when people like Boris were reported for blessing himself at Ibrox, and it just shows how fucking pathetic some people are in this country. And you wonder if they're ever going to evolve ever.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, Jason?
Bad, exactly the same. It's just disgusting. It's like, and obviously it's an SFA charge, but I don't know where they get the information from or what